Chapter 42. How can you talk to a teacher like that? The PE teacher glared. Sun Shuchang, have been teaching students for more than 10 years. Is it your turn to teach me today? I don't dare. I'm just giving a suggestion to the teacher. Li Fan was also angry. He already had a lot on his mind. Now that he was being reprimanded by the teacher, it was impossible for him to be happy. I hope the teacher can understand us. After all, our bodies are not made of iron. Are you blaming me for your poor physical fitness? You've been spoiled since childhood. It's only right to train you. The PE teacher snorted. I'm going to let you run 30 laps today. Whoever can't finish will be fined 50. The surrounding students all wailed. Li Fan felt even more uncomfortable. Because their school was a private school, they often came up with all kinds of excuses to charge fees. Moreover, they were always fined in various ways. Teacher, we're not sports students. Who can finish 30 laps? Aren't you trying to cheat us of money? Li Fan couldn't stand it anymore and directly questioned. With this question, the PE teacher immediately lost his composure. He immediately roared, Li Fan, what do you mean? Don't you miss it? I just think it's unfair. Although the PE teacher blew his beard and glared at them fiercely. If it was the previous Li Fan, he would definitely be scared to the point of not daring to make a sound. But the current Li Fan, with kung fu and confidence, was not afraid of the PE teacher's threat. Teacher's son, are you going to expel me for giving you a suggestion? I think the teachers in our school should be teaching and educating people. They don't exist to bully us, right? Sun Shuchang was choked by Li Fan's words, but he quickly said, You're giving me a suggestion. What kind of suggestion can a student like you give? If I tell you to run, run obediently. If others can't run, you'll be fined 50. If you can't run, you'll be fined 100. And clean up the field. I object. Li Fan said loudly, I think people like you don't deserve to be our PE teacher. I'm going to complain to the school. I said you're a prick. Do you really want to go to heaven? Today, I'll teach you what it means to respect your teacher. Sun Shuchang reached out to slap Li Fan, but Li Fan took a step back and dodged. You were never worthy. Li Fan rolled his eyes and said, Let's take running as an example. You can't outrun me. How can a teacher who can't even compare to a student be worthy of being a teacher? What a joke. I graduated from a proper sports school and was a former member of the national team. How could I be inferior to you? Sun Shuchang laughed heartily. It seemed that if he didn't teach these students a lesson, they wouldn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Teacher, if you don't believe me, we can compete. Li Fan continued, If I win, then you can resign. All right. You said it yourself. Sun Shuchang did not believe that he would lose. If you win, I will resign. If I win, a trashy student like you will have to quit school. Who's the trash here? We'll know after the competition. Li Fan said, and began to move his legs. I hope the teacher can still be like a man, and keep his words. Students, you're all witnesses. You heard what Teacher Sun said, right? Yes, we heard it. We all heard it. The surrounding students were all very lively, and they immediately followed suit and shouted. I hope all students can be witnesses. Teacher, how many meters should we run? Li Fan asked. 10 laps then. A total of 3,000 meters. Sun Shuchang laughed. He thought that he was a long-distance runner in the past. Competing with him was simply courting death. See how I run until you cry. The two of them stood at the starting point. Sun Shuchang was feeling proud and even did some warm-up exercises. He thought that this was very cool and those girls must admire him very much. Ready. Little Four Eyes by Lin Luo stood at the side and raised his hand to be the judge for the two of them. Li Fan half squatted on the ground and got into a starting position. Sun Chuchang's lips twitched. He thought that it was quite decent, but what was the use? The final winner would definitely be him. Run! Little Four Eyes had just said the word run when Sun Chuchang had already dashed out. Although his starting position was fast, there was a rhythm to it and he had to maintain his strength. He wanted to leave Li Fan in the dust right from the start and let him feel despair. Sun Chuchang's plan was good, but when he turned his head, he realized that Li Fan had already dashed past him with light steps. What situation was this? Sun Chuchang thought that he had seen wrongly. He rubbed his eyes and realized that it was indeed Li Fan who had dashed past him. How was this possible? His running speed wasn't something that a professional athlete could catch up to. Could it be that this brat had exerted all his strength just to surpass him? Sun Chuchang coldly laughed. He was really courting death. If he were to run with all his might, he would be kneeling on the ground in no time. That was what Sun Chuchang was thinking, but Li Fan maintained his speed and continued to run with ease. This speed that was similar to a 100-meter sprint didn't seem to be taxing on Li Fan at all. In the blink of an eye, he had already completed one lap. When Li Fan passed by Sun Chuchang for the second time, Sun Chuchang's mouth was wide open. How was this possible? Who could run at the speed of a 100-meter sprint for so long? Even the top long-distance athletes couldn't do it, right? Li Fan still didn't have any intention of slowing down. He continued to run laps and very quickly completed the third lap and the fourth lap. His speed was still the same. It was as if he didn't feel any fatigue and was running with the wind. Sun Chuchang was dumbfounded. He couldn't believe his own eyes. With such speed, he could even win a gold medal in the Olympics. How could he be cooped up in this small school? But he had no choice but to believe it. Li Fan had already completed 9 laps. And he had just completed 3 laps. The difference was too huge. When Li Fan completed 10 laps, all the students cheered. Everyone seemed to have forgotten that Li Fan was a hooligan in their hearts. They happily surrounded Li Fan and celebrated. Little Four even passed a bottle of water and a towel over for Li Fan to wipe his sweat. But he was shocked to discover that Li Fan's forehead didn't have any sweat at all. It was as if the person who had just completed 10 laps wasn't him. Thank you. Li Fan took the water and gulped it down. In a few mouthfuls, he finished the bottle of water. Although he didn't sweat much, he had used up some of his qi. He needed to replenish water and oxygen, and the water was delivered at the right time. At this moment, Sun Chuchang was dumbfounded. After Li Fan finished drinking the water, he separated the crowd and walked in front of him. Teacher Sun, if you're willing to bet, you must be willing to lose. Bet? What bet? He didn't expect Sun Chuchang to deny it. It's just running. Why would I bet? I'm a teacher. I definitely won't gamble. Teacher. I recorded it. Little Four took out his phone and waved it in front of Sun Chuchang. Chapter 43. Unexpectedly, Sun Chuchang snatched the phone from Little Four's hand and smashed it on the floor. With a cracking sound, Little Four's apple was smashed into pieces. Bai Linluo's eyes instantly turned red. This phone was a birthday gift from his father last year. He cherished it very much and there wasn't even a scratch on it. Teacher Sun, aren't you too much? Li Fan couldn't bear it anymore. What kind of person was this? How could he do such a thing? You are not allowed to use your phone in class. Sun Chuchang said righteously, not only did I smash your phone, I also want to fine you 500. Get your parents to come over tomorrow. Little Four cried even more fiercely. Li Fan patted his shoulder and stood up for him. Sun Shuchang, for your actions, I can only give you 3 words. A teacher is a bitch. A bitch. You actually dare to insult a teacher. Teacher. You are not even worthy of being a man. Li Fan's true chi was in his dantian and his voice was loud and clear. As the saying goes, a man should be indomitable and be willing to lose the bet. But as a teacher, not only did you not set an example, you even went back on your words and broke the bet. How can a person like you be worthy of being our teacher? When did I go back on my words? When did I make a bet with you? Sun Shuchang's expression was unfriendly as he questioned loudly, who saw it? Who saw it? He pulled a male student. I'm asking you, did you see it? That male student was frightened by Sun Shuchang's ferocious expression and kept shaking his head. What about you, did you see it? He pulled another female student and the female student was so frightened that she started crying. I'm asking you if you saw it. Sun Shuchang slapped the female student. Fuck, say something. A hand grabbed onto Sun Shuchang's wrist like an iron hoop, not allowing Sun Shuchang to pull it back. He was a little shocked. He turned his head and realized that it was Li Fan who was grabbing onto his wrist. What are you doing? Are you still going to hit the teacher? I've said it before. You are not worthy of being our teacher. Li Fan was very angry. Scum like you, hurry up and get out of the school. I think you are asking for a lesson. Today, I will teach you a lesson on behalf of your parents. Sun Shuchang's other hand spread open his 5 fingers and the big thunder slap ruthlessly swept towards Li Fan. This is too much. As a teacher, to actually bully his own student like this, Li Fan was truly not going to hold back. He stepped forward, grabbed Sun Shuchang's arm, and twisted it behind him. Gotcha! Sun Shuchang's arm was twisted behind his back. The strong physical education teacher couldn't bear it. He screamed and knelt on the ground. Li Fan continued to pull on Sun Shuchang's arm, causing him to be on the verge of dislocation. This was the most painful part, as though it was drilling into his heart. Sun Shuchang screamed continuously, his forehead was covered in cold sweat, and he didn't look like a teacher at all. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you're a teacher. When it comes to dealing with teachers like you who act like bitches, if no one cares, then I will. As Li Fan spoke, he pressed down lightly again. Sun Shuchang screamed with all his might in pain. His voice was like that of a silly pig, echoing throughout the entire field. With such a huge commotion, the school was finally alarmed. Many teachers ran out of the teaching building, and even the principal ran out with his pig-like body. Li Fan. It's you again. When the principal saw Li Fan, his head started to hurt fiercely. What are you doing? Quickly let go of teacher Sun. This won't do. Li Fan snorted coldly, if he doesn't apologize, I won't let go. Nonsense. Truly nonsense. The principal was so angry that he was about to explode. His pig-like face was filled with green veins. Arrest him for me. The principal gave the order, and 4 security guards immediately went forward to stop Li Fan. However, Li Fan didn't even put those old, weak, and disabled people in the school in his eyes. The leader of the security guards was a balding man in his 50s. He walked toward Li Fan. Li Fan didn't stand on ceremony. These security guards weren't good at protecting students, but they were good at bullying students. He immediately raised his leg and kicked the security guard's head with one leg. This was also because Li Fan had held back his strength. Otherwise, with his pair of iron shoes, the security guard's head would definitely be split open. He had held back most of his strength, but he still kicked the security guard until he fell to the ground and fainted instantly. This clean kick caused the remaining 3 security guards to be dumbfounded. This student wasn't someone easy to deal with. Li Fan, what are you trying to do? Could it be that you want to rebel? The principal roared. The hand that was pointing at Li Fan was trembling. To create trouble at this critical juncture, wasn't this the same as provoking his bad luck? Principal, the school educates people. The teachers have also taught us before. If we do something wrong, we have to apologize. Now that he has done something wrong, he isn't apologizing to us. Could it be that as a teacher, he can disregard morals and regulations? Li Fan didn't back down and argued with reason. You still think you're reasonable? This is a school. You're a student, so you have to listen to the school's arrangements. You have to respect every teacher. The principal trembled as he shouted. Of course I respect teachers, but I don't respect scum. Enough. You keep calling scum and uncultured. I think the uncultured ones are all of you, right? Li Fan sneered, a bunch of people dressed like dogs. With this kind of moral character, how can you be our teacher? You guys are not worthy. Well said. I'll give you a like. The surrounding students cheered while the principal was trembling with anger. Principal, it was indeed the PE teacher who made the first move. At this moment, Little Four adjusted his spectacles and wiped his tears before saying, Li Fan was only defending himself. All the students saw it. Yes, we all saw it. It was the PE teacher who made the first move. That's right. He wanted to hit us, but Li Fan stopped him. Yes, yes, yes. The students nodded their heads. Little Four continued, even if it was the teacher who made the first move, we can still defend ourselves. Principal, you're the principal of the school. Don't tell me you don't know the law. This Little Four was really something. Li Fan took another look at him. Although they were desk mates, they didn't talk much. Li Fan thought that he was quite honest. But from what he saw today, his brain wasn't ordinary either. Nonsense. This is all nonsense. This was the first time the principal couldn't even control a few students. This made him furious. All of you want to rebel. Principal, don't the students have the basic rights to be human? Little Four stood beside Li Fan. He didn't know where he got the courage to speak to the principal like this. Don't we students have human rights? You guys don't care about the school's arbitrary fees. You guys don't care about the difference in the school's treatment. You guys don't care about the school's violence. Now that the teachers are bullying us and we retaliate, you guys come and interfere. Is this really a place for students to learn or a place for you to act like a tyrant? Well said. Li Fan clapped his hands. Little Four Eyes, you've made me see you in a different light. Chapter 44. You. Preposterous. The principal was trembling with anger. The fats on his face were trembling. Anyway, let go of teacher's son first. If he doesn't apologize, I won't let him go. Li Fan hooked his finger at the principal. If you have the ability, come and pull me away. Hurry up and pull him away. The principal shouted at the security guards. However, the 3 security guards looked at their colleague lying on the ground and didn't dare to move. The principal roared like a mad dog. Li Fan laughed, you're a man. What's the point of ordering others around? If you have the guts, come over yourself. I'm the principal. How can I be like a lowly student like you? The principal immediately said, vulgar and violent. You're really a woman. Li Fan sneered, it's really a tragedy for our school to have a principal like you. Impudent. You're out of control. The principal scolded, I can't control you. Let go of teacher's son. I'm not letting go. What can you do to me? Li Fan raised his head, I have so many students to testify for me. I'm just defending myself. If you have the guts, call the police. You! You! The principal was so angry that he almost had a heart attack. Call the police. When the police come, I'll at most let him go. Li Fan laughed, but I don't know if his arm can hold on until then. With that, Li Fan twisted his hand and Sun Shuchang immediately screamed like a pig being slaughtered. What are you trying to do? The principal questioned. Do you not understand me? Li Fan's voice rose by another octave. I want him to apologize. Apologize to all the students. Absolutely not. The principal rejected flatly. As a teacher of our school, how can I apologize to uneducated students like you? I apologize, I apologize. Sun Shuchang cried and shouted, I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I won't dare to do it again. I beg you, please spare me. Humph. Li Fan loosened his hand. Sun Shuchang knelt on the ground and rubbed his arm. It was indeed very painful. He almost lost all feeling in his arm, and he felt that it wasn't his own anymore. If you look down on students again, I'll beat you up again. Li Fan bluntly said to Sun Shuchang. Sun Shuchang stood up holding his arm and stared at Li Fan fiercely. Kid, I will settle this account sooner or later. You're dead. Say that again. Li Fan took a step forward. Sun Shuchang was so frightened that he took 2 steps back. He tripped and fell on his butt. Good for nothing. Li Fan did not put Sun Shuchang in his eyes at all. He bullied students as he pleased just because he was a physical education teacher. He was too despicable. So what if they were students? Could students be bullied by their teachers? There was no such logic. This time, Li Fan had decided to confront the entire school head-on. If he didn't stand up for them, who else would? Regardless of whether he could endure it or not, he had to endure it. Li Fan. Do you know what you've done? The principal was about to go crazy from anger. Are you still a student? You even dare to hit a teacher and scold the principal. Do you still want to stay in this school? Hurry up and call your parents over. You're going to be expelled. Why should I be expelled? What did I do wrong? Li Fan stood there proudly, not afraid of the principal's threat. You even hit a teacher and you're asking me why I expelled you. The principal pointed at Li Fan and said, we can't teach a student like you. I didn't make any mistakes. You have no right to expel me. Li Fan didn't back down. If you want to expel me, you must have a valid reason. Even if it's the school, without a valid reason, they can only persuade a student to quit. They can't force him to quit. I'm not ignorant of the law. You can't fool me. Hitting a teacher and showing no respect for your elders are the reasons for you to quit. How about this? Let's call the police. Li Fan confidently said, let the police judge whether I hit a teacher or was it self-defense. Principal, what do you think? This is preposterous. The principal didn't want to call the police. He didn't want to cause too much trouble during the reorganization period. If the police came and the matter got out of hand, he would definitely lose his position as the headmaster. If I don't call the police, you have no right to expel me. Li Fan said and glanced at the black-bellied little four eyes. Little four eyes, am I right? Yes. Bai Lin Luo pushed his glasses and nodded his head in affirmation. This is preposterous. The principal felt that his heart was starting to hurt. You students are too hateful. I will kick you out of my school. Your school. That can't be right. At this moment, Muronging walked out from the side and leisurely walked over. All the boys' gazes fell on her as well. This beauty, no matter where she went, was the focus of attention. With her appearance, the principal became mute. He swallowed his saliva and cold sweat started to appear on his forehead. What's wrong with this woman? How could she appear and disappear like a ghost? Every time something happened, she would appear. Didn't she not come to school often? How come her attendance rate was so high recently? Isn't this everyone's school? Mr. Principal. Muronging looked like she was smiling and angry at the same time. The principal's fat head was full of cold sweat. He really didn't know how to deal with this matter. With Murongying's appearance, the matter became very difficult. Director Murong. This matter is the student's fault. The principal said, I will deal with this matter. There's no need to trouble Director Murong. You'll deal with it. I'm very curious. Why don't you tell me how you want to deal with it? Muronging crossed her arms and stood there. I saw it from the side. Sun Shucheng, as a teacher, hit his own students. This is really against teacher ethics. This kind of teacher is indeed a bit too much. Oh right, what did you say just now? Seeing Murongying's indifferent look, the principal secretly hated her. However, Muronging held 40% of the school's shares. She was now the major shareholder. Her words definitely carried weight. Teacher Sun Shucheng is a bit too much. Since there was Muronging supporting Li Fan and the other students, the principal could only obediently admit defeat. He wiped his cold sweat and said, for the sake of the school's discipline, I announce that teacher Sun Shucheng is suspended from his duties. As a student, even if it was legitimate self-defense, Li Fan shouldn't have hit his teacher so badly. Therefore, Li Fan will be criticized by the whole school. At the same time, he will have to submit a report to show his respect. Director Murong. Do you think it's appropriate for me to do this? Not bad. Muronging nodded, the principal really didn't let me down. You're a person who cherishes his students. The other students cheered because this was basically their victory. Sun Shucheng's face was covered in dirt. The school's temporary suspension meant that he was expelled. However, he didn't intend to admit defeat. Li Fan, just you wait. This debt, I will settle it sooner or later. Chapter 45. The news of Li Fan beating up the PE teacher quickly spread throughout the school. Beating up a teacher wasn't the most awesome thing. The most awesome thing was beating up a teacher and coming out unscathed. Although he had to submit a report, it was nothing. It wasn't even worth mentioning. However, Li Fan had also become a very special person in the school. Some people thought he was a hero, while others thought he was a complete hooligan and were in awe of him. However, Li Fan was still very satisfied to be able to punish a bad teacher like Sun Shucheng. At the same time, he also understood that if it wasn't for Muronging, the major shareholder, backing him up, the one who would be expelled today would be him. In this era, it wasn't about how hard one's fist was, but how great one's power and background was. In the end, he still had to rely on his own woman. To be honest, Li Fan's originally satisfied mood became somewhat unhappy. Do you know what you did wrong? Muronging called Li Fan to the office alone and reprimanded him. I didn't do anything wrong. There was no one else in the office, so Li Fan didn't need to be polite. He directly raised his head with a face full of dissatisfaction. Ha! You're not happy to be scolded. Muronging also didn't give Li Fan any face. If I didn't show up today, do you think you could just submit a report and be done with it? I'm afraid you would have been expelled long ago, you know. Those people bullied others, and they still think they're in the right. Li Fan said unhappily, is this still a pure land of learning? I stood up for my students, what's wrong with that? Xiao Mu. Muronging looked at Li Fan exasperatedly, just learned some martial arts and you think you're great. Li Fan, don't forget, without me, Muronging, without our Murong family, you're nothing. Muronging said it in a moment of anger. After saying it, she regretted it. At that moment, she forgot how proud Li Fan was. All right, you're right. Li Fan was also angry and said angrily, then let me see if I can survive without you, Murong. After that, Li Fan angrily kicked open the office door and walked out. Murong wanted to call out to him, but she hesitated and didn't say anything. In the evening, when Li Fan wanted to look for Lin Yuhsian, the little girl left a note in the study room and stood Li Fan up. In order to punish you for your violent behavior, I won't see you today. Motherfucker. What's wrong with women nowadays? What the hell? What's wrong with the current society? It really makes people speechless. Fuck, you stood me up, so I have nowhere to go. Li Fan decided to look for Huang Lei to fight underground. If he didn't want to rely on these women, he would have to rely on his own 2 fists to make a name for himself. He took out his phone and called Huang Lei. Big brother. What can I do for you? Huang Lei's indecent voice came from the phone, but at this time, to Li Fan, it was very pleasant and funny. At least, it was much more pleasant than Murong Ying's voice. I want to fight underground. Help me arrange it. Li Fan went straight to the point and didn't beat around the bush. Big brother, I've predicted it. You want to fight underground. Sure enough, my plan is flawless. Huang Lei immediately said excitedly, I've already arranged it for Big Brother. Before 7 o'clock, come to the small stone bridge by the river to find me. I guarantee that Big Brother will make a lot of money tonight. Okay, I'll see you then. Li Fan hung up the phone and went out of the school gate. As a result, he bumped into Lin Yuhsian at the gate. What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be going home? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. Take this. Lin Yuhsian stuffed a small cloth bag into Li Fan's hand, then turned around and rode away on her bicycle. Looking at her long legs in the park, Li Fan couldn't help but mutter, this girl, what does she want to do? Li Fan couldn't help but open her canvas bag. Inside was a big bag of Band-Aids. This girl. Li Fan wanted to laugh but couldn't. I don't know if she cares about me or if she dislikes me. If she says she cares about me, why did she punish me and ignore me for the whole day? If she says she doesn't care about me, she probably knows that I fought today and is afraid that I'm injured, so she gave me Band-Aids. This day is really confusing. Forget it, I'm too lazy to care about these women. I'd better go and see what the hell this underground boxing is. Although there wasn't much time, Li Fan's pace was not bad. Before 7 o'clock, he had already arrived at the small stone bridge by the river. It was already autumn, and the river brought a trace of chill. But Li Fan had internal energy, so he didn't care much about this temperature. When he arrived, Huang Lei was already waiting there. This guy, dressed in cowboy clothes, was shivering in the cold. He squatted beside the stone bridge with a cigarette in his hand, trying to light it. But the weather was cold and the wind was strong. He tried for a long time but failed to light the cigarette. What are you doing? Li Fan shouted from afar. Huang Lei immediately laughed. I'm fighting against nature. Big brother, you're finally here. If you didn't come, I would be frozen into a popsicle. Huang Lei said with a smile. You're really early. Li Fan said, tell me, where should we go next? Big brother, do you see the boat by the river? Huang Lei pointed, the underground boxing club is there. Li Fan followed his finger and found a small black cruise ship anchored in the river in front. This cruise ship was like a lurking giant beast in the darkness, as if quietly waiting for the arrival of Li Fan. Big brother, don't worry. You'll be the star tonight. Huang Lei said confidently, as if the one who could win the tournament was not Li Fan, but him. With Big Brother's skill, I'm sure we'll make a lot of money tonight. How much can I earn by playing underground boxing for one night? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. More than 50,000 for one night. Huang Lei estimated, this is in the case that you've played the whole match. This money is not enough for us to buy a billiard hall. Li Fan calculated and said, time is tight. Can we still play underground boxing tomorrow? No, big brother. This underground boxing tournament is only held once a week. Huang Lei was very clear about this. If you want to play, you can only wait until next week. That's too late. Is there any other way? Li Fan was eager to earn money to support himself and get rid of Murong Ying's control over him. It's okay, big brother. I'll go get the money. Huang Lei took out 10,000 yuan from his pocket, sincere loan shark, 5,000 interest for one night. Why do you want to borrow money from them? Li Fan was somewhat puzzled, but Huang Lei smiled. This money is naturally for the bet. Big brother, don't worry. Tonight we're sure to win. Chapter 46. Huang Lei was full of confidence. He even took a loan from the loan shark. Li Fan was touched. This guy looked unreliable, but he actually had such a trustworthy side. We can win it all in one night. Huang Lei laughed lewdly. I managed to hook up with a girl on WeChat. Once I have money, I can lure her out. Big brother, look, this girl is the best. As he spoke, Huang Lei took out his iPhone 4, which had almost lost its paint, and showed Li Fan a photo. Li Fan almost vomited blood. It was a picture of a woman in her 40s. She was plump, and when she smiled, her mouth was full of yellow teeth. Damn it. This Huang Lei's taste was too heavy. Big brother, how is it? Isn't it exciting? If you like it, then as a brother, let me have a go first. Get lost. Li Fan rolled his eyes at Huang Lei. Do you think everyone is like you? Your taste is really heavy. Damn. Big brother, you don't understand the taste. Huang Lei quickly emphasized, young women are not interesting. Only women of this age are interesting. It's fine if they are alive. Look at this woman's face. One look and you can tell she is a slut. I guarantee that she will be exciting in bed. Big brother, I have a lot of experience. You should listen to me. Move aside. Let's get down to business. Li Fan was concerned about earning money. It didn't matter if his taste was heavy or not. Okay. Big brother, follow me. Huang Lei was familiar with the place. He brought Li Fan to the riverside. There was a small room by the riverside. He didn't know what it was for. Huang Lei walked over and knocked on the door. The metal window of the small room opened, and a pair of eyes looked out. This pair of eyes was a little thievish and uncomfortable. This gaze gave Li Fan goosebumps. What kind of monster is this? It's really annoying. What do you do? The words seemed to come out of his eyes, sharp and piercing, making people feel uncomfortable just listening to them. Bro, this is my invitation. Huang Lei raised his phone again. He stared at it and cursed, are you fucking crazy? Huang Lei took a look and saw that it was the nude photo of that woman. Fuck, I made a mistake. Not this one, this one. He hurriedly pulled it back and found the next photo. It was an electronic invitation. The pair of eyes glanced at him for a moment before handing over a ticket. Big brother, let's go. With the ticket in hand, Huang Lei respectfully led Li Fan onto the small cruise ship. To be able to keep a pleasure boat on this river, he probably wasn't an ordinary person. After paying the ticket, the two of them boarded the ship. Under the guidance of a waiter in formal attire, they walked to a very spacious lounge. Tonight will be a night of slaughter. Huang Lei opened his arms as if he was embracing the world. That serious expression on his face made people want to ridicule him. What, you can't hold back your hunger and want to turn on the killing mode? Li Fan couldn't help but tease, how about I give the opportunity to you, and you take my place to fight? How can that be? How can I steal Big Brother's limelight? Huang Lei quickly said, Big Brother, are you tired? Let's sit for a while. Big Brother, do you want me to help you find a virgin, open it, and put on a red dress? Put on your sister. Huang Lei let Li Fan sit on the leather sofa next to him and massage his shoulders and legs, then let me serve Big Brother. Big Brother, what do you think of my technique? I've learned it from the girls in the brothel for several years. Am I good at it? You can talk about these useless things. Li Fan looked around. Are we the only ones here? The room wasn't big, similar to a high-class apartment. But it was very well equipped. Sofa, bed, TV, and shower equipment, everything was there. Of course, this is the VIP lounge. Huang Lei immediately flaunted, ordinary players can't enjoy such treatment. Luckily I have a wide network and strong connections. Big Brother, rest well. I won't be cheering for you in the first few matches, but I believe Big Brother will definitely be fine. My Big Brother, you must use the best. Alright, when the billiard hall is booked, we'll split the shares in half. Li Fan said, I definitely won't let you suffer any losses. Big Brother, what do you mean by that? Huang Lei curled his lips, I'm just a little brother. I run errands for Big Brother. How can I split it with Big Brother? In the billiard hall, Big Brother, just give your little brother some money every month. He patted his chest, although I, Huang Lei, am a bit of a ruffian, I still have to uphold the code of brotherhood. As long as Big Brother is willing to lead me, no matter what happens, I'll do it for Big Brother. Don't always be so clear, we're all brothers. Li Fan was about to discuss the billiard hall's cooperation with Huang Lei when someone outside opened the door and shouted. Huang Lei! What the hell are you doing? This voice was somewhat impatient, causing Huang Lei to quickly stand up. Big Brother, they might be sending the match arrangements. You rest here, I'll help you get rid of him. These people are too low level, with Big Brother's status, you don't need to deal with them, leave them all to me. Then I'll have to trouble you. Li Fan waved his hand, and Huang Lei dragged that person out of the room and closed the door. What are you doing? Outside the door, a big and burly man scolded Huang Lei. Huang Lei quickly made a shushing gesture and pulled the man to the side. Brother, lower your voice, don't disturb my Big Brother. Big Dick Bro, whoever heard of your Big Brother's name? The man disdainfully said, with your little skill, what kind of mountain can you worship? I lent this place to you because you said you'll help me clean it up. In a moment, wipe the inside and outside clean, without a speck of dust, got it? Don't worry, I guarantee that there won't be any problem. Huang Lei patted his chest, I can also check the feng shui of this place, guarantee that you'll be able to make a fortune. Scram, we invited a feng shui master from Hong Kong, don't you dare move around. If you move, I'll chop off your hand, got it? Yes, don't worry. Right, when is my Big Brother's match? 20 minutes later. Gather at the entrance of Group A, don't be late, got it? The man sneered, your Big Brother is thin but not trash, and he wants to fight in an underground boxing match. Let me advise you, hurry up and buy a coffin for your Big Brother, and wait to collect his corpse. As soon as he finished speaking, Huang Lei's face sank, and his hand pulled out a switchblade from his hip pocket. What do you want? The man no longer smiled, but stared at the switchblade in Huang Lei's hand. Brother, we've been squatting in the same cell, I thank you for lending me this VIP room. Huang Lei sneered, I'm not careless with my work. But if I hear you say anything bad about my big brother again, I'll cut off your tongue. Chapter 47. You're crazy. The man's forehead was covered in cold sweat. He knew that Huang Lei was a troublemaker and regretted helping him. Anyway, clean up the room. Otherwise, I won't forgive you. After saying that, the man turned around and left. Huang Lei put away his switchblade and waved at the man. Thank you, brother. I'll treat you to a meal some other day. Eat your mother. The man cursed without turning his head. Oh, brother, you have a heavy taste. Fine, when you dig my mother out from her grave, I'll let you have a taste of her. Idiot. The man trembled with anger. Huang Lei tightened his belt. I think you're the idiot. Huang Lei returned to his room. Fortunately, the cabin was soundproof. Li Fan did not hear the conversation outside. At this time, he was supporting himself with one hand on the floor. His whole body was upside down in the air, constantly doing one-handed brace. Huang Lei could not help but feel envious. When would he have half of his brother's ability? Big brother, your match time is up. We'll meet in Area A in 20 minutes. Huang Lei put away his playfulness and reported the time to Li Fan. Big brother, there's still 20 minutes left. Don't you want to rest? No need. It's good to move my body before the match. Li Fan was doing one-handed brace, but he was not short of breath. Move your body so that you can fight with all your strength. Big brother is big brother. You're far-sighted. Huang Lei quickly gave him a thumbs up. I still need to learn from you. Don't talk nonsense. You should also take some time to train. Li Fan's body paused in the air. He switched to his other hand smoothly and continued to do one-handed brace. As the saying goes, the fist never leaves the hand, and the song never leaves the mouth. If you want to become strong, you can't just rely on your mouth. Once you've trained your body, your martial arts will naturally improve. But big brother, judging from your posture, you should be practicing inner force, right? Huang Lei finally couldn't help but ask, your body doesn't look strong. There's a guy in this club called Killing Machine. His muscles are as big as a rock, so hard. Your eyes are quite sharp. It is indeed an inner force. Li Fan nodded. A qualified martial artist must be a master of both internal and external martial arts. If you want to learn, I can teach you, but you need to match the inside with the outside. If your inner force is strong, but your physical fitness can't keep up, the effect of your inner force will be very weak. As he warmed up, he said, it's like a bullet. The inner force is like this bullet. Shooting with a slingshot and shooting with a pistol are two completely different concepts. Ah, big brother, I understand now. Huang Lei nodded, not really understanding. Then what kind of kung fu do you practice? 18 dragon subduing palms or 9 white bone claws? Those are written in novels. Even if it exists, it's a rare peerless martial art. As Li Fan spoke, he posed an inverted ape's posture vividly. I practice the 5 animals play. 5 animals play. Can that thing really hit people? Huang Lei was a little curious. Watch. As Li Fan spoke, his left hand suddenly snapped his fingers. When Huang Lei's eyes fell on Li Fan's left hand, Li Fan's body suddenly bounced. His whole body seemed to disappear, disappearing in front of Huang Lei. Huang Lei was taken aback. When he reacted, Li Fan had already appeared behind him. At the same time, his palm gently rested on Huang Lei's shoulder. What's going on? Huang Lei didn't see how Li Fan moved. In just an instant, Li Fan had already appeared behind him. This was simply incredible. Big brother, how did you do that? This is the ape steps, one of the steps in the 5 animals play. It imitates the form of a monkey. Li Fan explained, I used this kind of pace just now, and at the same time, I snapped my fingers to attract your attention, but I instantly left your line of sight and appeared behind you. Is it really so magical? Today is really an eye-opener. Huang Lei thought for a moment, Big Brother, then what kind of kung fu do you think is suitable for me to practice? This ape's kung fu seems to be used for escaping. If you think like that, then it's wrong. Li Fan laughed, the ape form is light and graceful, and has endless uses. I think you are suitable for this set of kung fu. Ah, is it? Huang Lei was a little excited, then in the future when I escape, no one can catch me. Awesome. You. Li Fan was very helpless. His figure suddenly flashed and appeared behind Huang Lei. Big Brother. Where did you run off to? Huang Lei was a little surprised. How could this person disappear in a blink of an eye? Here. Li Fan said. His hands suddenly clasped Huang Lei's throat from behind, tightly locking his throat, making it difficult for Huang Lei to breathe. Huang Lei was out of breath. His face was red and blue veins were popping out. At this moment, Huang Lei felt death was right behind him. No, it was right beside him. It was as if at any time, it would hug him and drag his life into the black hell. Big Brother. These 3 words of Huang Lei were almost squeezed out from his throat. He began to roll his eyes. At this moment, Li Fan loosened his hand. Fresh air crazily poured into Huang Lei's mouth, pouring into his throat and filling his lungs. He never felt that oxygen was so precious and that being alive was so beautiful. Huang Lei kneeled on the ground, gasping for fresh air. Now you know the horror of the 5 animal frolics. Li Fan patted Huang Lei's back, helping him to calm his breathing. If he did not feel the horror of this move, he would not be able to understand the power of this move. Now do you still think it's an escape skill? So scary. Although Huang Lei's body was better, he was still scared. How about it? Do you want to learn it? Although Li Fan's 5 animal frolics was derived from the template that Muronging had taught him, he had incorporated part of his own understanding into it, as well as some modern fighting techniques that he had read on the internet when he was bored. He had combined them into a new 5 animal frolics. To say that the 5 animal frolics was like radio gymnastics, Li Fan would not accept it. He gave his 5 animal frolics a cool and domineering name, 5 animal joint attack technique. What he had just displayed was the ape attack technique, which was very suitable for assassination. However, he had never killed anyone, so he did not have any murderous aura. Perhaps only those who had truly killed people would be able to master this skill thoroughly. Learn. I want to learn. Huang Lei was somewhat excited, this skill is too powerful. Big Brother, you must teach me. Of course, but you have to start training from now. Li Fan said, later on, I will teach you how to practice. You have to start from the breathing technique. I will listen to Big Brother's arrangement. Thinking that he could learn such a powerful skill, Huang Lei was a bit excited. It's almost time. Big Brother, I will bring you to Area A. Chapter 48. Area A was also a resting area. It was very big and spacious, and there were already many underground fighters preparing for the match. Li Fan glanced at them. These people were all tall and strong, and they looked fierce. How come anyone can come here? Yo, are you here to die? Who's so lucky to get a free match? The surrounding black fighters' gazes fell on Li Fan, each and every one of them was filled with mockery and hostility. Bang! A bare-chested man with a scar on his eye walked over and purposely bumped into Li Fan's shoulder. Brat, remember my name, Human Bomb. Scarface sneered, my favorite thing to do is to crush you noobs with my own hands. Cherish the time you have now because you'll be paralyzed for life soon. You're the one who's going to be paralyzed for life. Huang Lei pulled out a switchblade from his butt but was stopped by Li Fan. If there's a chance, let's fight on the stage. You've got guts. For someone with guts like you, I like to cripple his little brother. Human Bomb laughed loudly, prepare to go to Thailand, ha ha ha. The surrounding people all laughed out loud. None of them put Li Fan, a high school student in a school uniform, in their eyes. Li Fan also regretted coming here in such a hurry. Otherwise, he would have changed into his uniform. Fuck, these people are all crazy. Huang Lei curled his lips, big brother, don't worry. I'll find a few people to put a gunny sack over his head and give him a good beating. This kind of idiot is asking for a beating. Don't worry, if I meet him on the stage, I'll make him look for his teeth all over the floor. Li Fan was also not a good-tempered person. He just did not want to cause any trouble in the audience. Today, winning money was the goal. Fighting should be done in the right place. As a martial artist, he had martial arts and would not show it to others casually. Unmoving like a mountain, moving like a thunderbolt. Li Fan muttered in his heart. Why did he feel like he was becoming more and more like Muronging? That woman, what's the point of thinking about her? I can't even get enough of her. She is a female pervert who likes to bully women and dominate men. That was right. Just thinking about her made him angry. Number 230, it's your turn. A beautiful girl wearing a bunny girl outfit walked in. She was holding an iPad in her hand and said to Li Fan. Big brother, it's your turn. Good luck. Huang Lei cheered for Li Fan. He believed that with Li Fan's strength, it wouldn't be a problem for him to defeat these underground fighters. Yes, remember to bet on me. Li Fan was also a little excited. Tonight, we've earned a lot from them. Farewell, big brother. Huang Lei made it look decent. Li Fan lifted his feet and walked out of the door. As soon as he stepped out of the door, he was greeted by the strong smell of cigarettes and alcohol. There was also a faint smell of blood that rushed straight into Li Fan's nose. Not only that, the earth-shattering shouts and laughter also assaulted Li Fan's senses. A huge martial arts arena. There was such a huge and shocking place hidden in this cruise ship. The audience in front of him was black. In the blink of an eye, there were at least 10 to 20,000 people. Previously, he heard from Huang Lei that if one wanted to watch the underground fight here, the ticket would cost 1,000. Therefore, just the entrance fee alone could make more than 20 million a week. But this was just the entrance fee. The reason why the Underground Fight Club had a market was because it was a huge underground gambling den. Every underground fighter would have people betting on them. The boss of the club was the biggest dealer. The money he won was estimated to be an astronomical figure. Li Fan wanted to use himself as a bet and win a lot of money today. The startup funds were all won back by his own hands. Li Fan glanced at his hands. Right now, he was no longer an ordinary high school student. He was now a martial artist who had reached the pinnacle of perfection. Today was the day to bring glory to the Five Birds combined attack technique. Listening to the shouts around him and smelling the faint smell of blood, Li Fan closed his eyes. His heart began to beat faster and a sense of dizziness slowly appeared. But it was only for a moment. When Li Fan opened his eyes again, his blood flowed faster and the dizziness disappeared. Instead, it was replaced by a feeling of excitement. A whole new world was waiting for him. Li Fan, go. Li Fan walked to the middle of the huge martial arts arena. The martial arts arena was huge and the cold weapons used by the contestants were not limited. What they wanted was blood and excitement. The host's voice sounded and introduced Li Fan. This is the youngest contestant in our club. Ha ha ha, he's actually a high school student. The host's voice inevitably carried a sense of ridicule, and the surrounding audience also followed suit. A high school student, are you here to die? Seeing a high school student get beaten up seems pretty good. I bet on a killing machine. This time, I'll definitely win. The audience booed and ridiculed. They couldn't wait for Li Fan to immediately die in the arena. Li Fan was unhappy. What kind of people were these? They didn't have any humanity. Ayaya, the audience seems to be full of enthusiasm for this high school student. This contestant doesn't have a title yet, so let's call him the strongest high school student. Ha ha ha. The strongest high school student was full of sarcasm. The audience laughed loudly. Li Fan bit his lips. Don't mind their ridicule. How much these people look down on me now will be how much they fear me later. Li Fan clenched his fists and stood in the arena. He's here. He's here. Our strongest high school student's first opponent in the death match, he's here. The host's excited voice ignited the audience. The audience also cheered. A tall figure slowly walked in from the opposite entrance. This guy was 2 meters tall and had a strong body. He looked like a human-shaped giant bear. With heavy steps, he walked out amidst the crowd's cheers. Let's welcome our club's big star, the killing machine. The host led the audience to cheer together. As the guy walked, he did a few bodybuilding moves to show off his perfect muscles. Killing machine. I think highly of you. Crush that high school student into meat paste. The audience shouted until their voices were hoarse. The man who was called the killing machine slowly walked in front of Li Fan. When he saw him, he couldn't help but sneer. Are you kidding me? High school student. He pointed at the bulge in his underwear and said, it's not even as big as my dick. Are you here to lick my dick? Do you like gold teeth or porcelain teeth? Li Fan stood there and asked the killing machine. What do you mean by weird? Is there something wrong with your head? The killing machine laughed, ha ha ha, this is the first time I've met such a stupid person. When I crush your bones later, you better not cry. Chapter 49. Of course. The killing machine chuckled, if you kneel down and beg me for mercy, I can let you walk with one leg. That's not necessary. Li Fan put up his hand and hooked his finger at the killing machine, you can start now. Yo, there's actually someone who's eager to die. The killing machine was very disdainful, kid, are you here to die? Could it be that you bought insurance for yourself and came here to cheat insurance? He showed off his muscles, I don't care what you're here for. My muscles are full of explosive power. With one punch, I can blow your head off. If you want to die, then die. Don't blame it on me. Life and death are decreed by fate. Riches and honor are decided by heaven. Li Fan endured his anger and said, let's start. Sure enough, you're eager to die. The killing machine spat out a mouthful of blood, today is really fucking unlucky. I actually met someone who wants to die and dirty my hands. After saying that, the killing machine shouted at the surrounding audience. I'll kill him, are you guys happy? Go, killing machine. Kill this idiot. I've spent a lot of money on you winning. Kill him. Kill him, and I'll give you a Mercedes-Benz. The surrounding audience's eyes turned red as they shouted. A bunch of lunatics. Li Fan frowned while the killing machine laughed again. Ha ha ha, did you hear that? You're a trash, everyone wants you to die. But I'm a kind person. I've decided to only make you half dead and leave you with your dog life. Aren't you grateful to me? Can you fight now? Li Fan has become impatient. Are you a girl? Stop dawdling. Looks like both of our contestants are impatient. I really don't want to see the next bloody scene. The audience members with weak hearts, remember to bring the Joshin pill. The massacre scene is about to come on stage. Kill. Kill him. What are you waiting for, killing machine? Go. Let's tear a high school student apart. The crowd was shouting again, but Li Fan stood in the middle of the arena and let his heart sink. The ear-piercing clamor receded like the tide. At this moment, Li Fan's heart was as still as water. Everything around him disappeared, and a figure seemed to appear in his mind, practicing martial arts. It was as if a butterfly was fluttering in the air, extremely beautiful. Who is this figure? It's very familiar. Is it Muronging? How annoying. Why did he think of her at this time? Let the party begin. The host shouted, and the killing machine's sturdy body immediately pounced on Li Fan. Looking at his posture, it seemed like he really wanted to tear Li Fan in half. However, Li Fan did not show any fear. He still stood there and took a horse stance. Waist and horse as one. As a martial artist, he had to cultivate both internal and external martial arts. The most basic of external skills was the waist horse stance. Li Fan had been practicing the horse stance every day for more than a month. Even if he fell asleep in class, he would do it while squatting on the table. The waist horse kung fu for more than a month was not in vain. Li Fan separated his hands, and his whole aura suddenly rose. Bear strike. Brat. Die. In the blink of an eye, the killing machine had already pounced in front of Li Fan. A pair of big hands suddenly grabbed at Li Fan. However, Li Fan suddenly lowered his body and dodged the killing machine's hands. Following that, he supported himself from the bottom and used his hands to support the killing machine's huge body. His waist horse lowered. Bear King raises the cauldron. Li Fan used the horsepower in his waist to support himself and forcefully lifted the 2-meter-tall burly man up. Then, using the force of the man's pounce, his hands swung like a pendulum and immediately threw the killing machine's huge body out, smashing it onto the ground of the arena. Bang! A loud sound rang out. Although the killing machine's body was made of muscles, its head did not have any defense. This ruthless hit caused him to be stunned, but he still had some consciousness. However, Li Fan came forward and raised his leg and directly kicked his head. Many teeth flew out. Prepare to have your teeth inserted. Li Fan stood firm and said slowly. The strength of his leg and the power of his iron shoes immediately caused the killing machine to faint. All the noise in the surroundings had really quietened down this time. Everyone was stunned. What the hell is this? The invincible killing machine. He actually lost. The killing machine fainted. The host was the first to react, although we do not know what happened, but the killing machine indeed fainted. Maybe he drank too much last night and did not have enough sleep, but no matter what, this high school student won. No. My money. Killing machine, I want to kill you. Almost everyone was furious because the killing machine actually lost. Who would bet on this high school student, but who would have thought that he actually lost? The only winner was the banker and Huang Lei's 10,000 yuan bet. Congratulations to the strongest high school student for becoming our arena champion. The host was also feeling heartache for his money. The staff dragged the unconscious killing machine away. Many people were already wailing. The entire club was in a mess. Many of the audience also fainted with heartache. The new contestant is about to come on stage. The host looked at the name list and then excitedly said, The audience who just lost money, no need to feel heartache anymore. The next contestant is our club superhero, Bouncing Kick King. His kicks are like the wind and his kicks are like thunder. This should be our banker's compensation to everyone. Everyone can rely on this to recoup their losses. Once the name Bouncing Kick King came out, everyone heaved a sigh of relief and became excited. Idiot, you made us lose money. This time we will let you die. We can recoup our losses. Ha ha ha, no need to jump off the building. A group of gamblers were finally happy. Standing on the surrounding seats, they shouted at Li Fan. Li Fan was already numb. His heart was very calm. These people did not even have this little bit of insight. They deserved to lose money. However, Li Fan was a little curious as to who the next Bouncing Kick King was. He crossed his arms and stood in the arena, waiting for the so-called Bouncing Kick King to arrive. However, if they were all at the level of killing machines, then they were too weak. He came here to play underground boxing. First, it was to earn money. Second, it was to be able to spar with experts and train himself. Bouncing Kick King is someone who has learned real kung fu. His record in our club is also very glorious. So far, his record is 28 wins and 5 losses. However, today, his record will increase again. It will soon be 29 wins. Everyone, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and place your bets. These people were still gambling. Seeing their red eyes and crazy looks, Li Fan laughed coldly in his heart. If you ignore me now, then you will all be kneeling in a while. Quick, look, our Bouncing Kick King. He's here. Let's cheer. Chapter 50. Nan Bro was very happy. Tonight's opponent turned out to be a newcomer. Wasn't this giving him money? He hadn't been on stage for 2 weeks, and his legs were already itching. Tonight, he would earn a lot of money, and then go abroad for a period of time to have some fun with 2 foreign women. At that time, he would beat them up and bring glory to the country. He was wearing a golden cloak. As soon as he appeared, he made 2 beautiful kicks. It was obvious that he wanted to show off. Cheer for me. I'm the emperor tonight. Nan Bro didn't put his opponent in his eyes. Who knew what happened to the killing machine in the previous match? But that guy was also very weak. Just because he had some muscles, he thought he was a master. He had fought with him 3 times, and he was defeated by him every time. His kicking skills were not for nothing. If he met a god, he would kill a god. If he met a Buddha, he would kill a Buddha. He guessed that the killing machine had spent the night with a girl in a bar. He heard that his highest record was sleeping with 7 girls in a row. He was too indulgent with his body. A threesome was enough. Why did he do so many? Wasn't he overdrafting himself? Nan Bro despised the killing machine in his heart while walking into the ring. He was prepared to kick the newcomer to let him know the cruelty of this club. He was also teaching him how to be a person. He wanted him to understand how realistic this society was. Sigh, my heart is really too kind. Listening to the audience's cheers, Nan Bro put on a few invincible poses. But when he saw the contestant standing opposite him, his legs immediately went soft, and he almost kneeled on the ground. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Nan Bro's calves and stomach were trembling. How could it be him? Hello, we meet again. Li Fan waved at Nan Bro, please advise me. Fuck. Why is it you? Seeing Li Fan, Nan Bro's heart almost collapsed. Fate brings us together from thousands of miles away. Li Fan hooked his finger at Nan Bro, it seems that we are quite fated. Come, let's fight. Don't let me down this time. Disappointed your ass. I made a mistake last time. I will not make it again this time. Nanbro roared, today I will use my unique skill, King Kong legs, to kill you. With that, Nanbro fiercely stomped on the floor of the ring. A few cracks suddenly appeared on the floor of the arena, as if it had been shattered by Brother Nan's kick. The surrounding audience immediately cheered, rejoicing for Nanbro's strength. Excitement. Ha! Li Fan was a little surprised. I underestimated you at that time, thinking that you only knew external techniques. I didn't expect you to have some inner force. You can be considered to be at the beginner level. Don't look down on me. Brother Nan didn't know why, but when he stood in front of Li Fan, he always felt very small. His body suddenly spun, and a whirlwind kick went straight at Li Fan. Brother Nan's whirlwind kick was very powerful. With a whistling sound, it was as if the air was being torn apart. If this move were to kick Li Fan's body, even if he had true chi to protect his body, he would probably suffer some injuries. Although his kick was very fast, to Nan, Li Fan. Li Fan didn't know why. Maybe it was the effect of the pure yang body. As long as he circulated his chi, his opponent's movement would slow down in his eyes, giving him more time to deal with it. It was similar to the bullet time in games. Even if the effect was not long, for an expert, victory or defeat was decided in an instant. Li Fan lowered his body and dodged Nanbro's kick. But Bro was a seasoned warrior with rich combat experience. At the moment when Li Fan lowered his body, he forcibly overcame his own inertia, retracted the whirlwind kick that he kicked out, raised it high, and once again used the golden chop, like a tomahawk, chopping down on Li Fan's head. But the moment Li Fan lowered his body suddenly entered tiger form. No, it should be tiger strike technique. Black tiger fierce mountain climb. Li Fan was like a tiger released from its cage. He suddenly rushed forward. Before Bro's chop landed, he was already in front of Bro. At the same time, Li Fan's elbow fiercely hit Bro's chest, causing Bro's chest to ache and his vision to turn black. Then, Li Fan's palm pushed upwards and hit Bro's chin, dislocating Bro's chin and making him see stars. But it was not over yet. As the saying goes, black tiger fierce mountain climb. Li Fan's palm finally clasped Bro's head, grabbed his head and smashed it to the ground. Bam! The floor collapsed. Bro Nan's head smashed into the ground and blood splattered everywhere. Fortunately, Bro had practiced some hard qigong, so his head was a bit sturdier. Otherwise, his brain would have burst out. Clean and neat, defeating the enemy in one move. Li Fan looked at Bro lying on the ground and couldn't help but sigh. Weak, really too weak. Don't you have a stronger opponent? The surroundings were silent, and no one dared to look down on this seemingly weak high school student. Li Fan looked around, and everyone who met Li Fan's gaze subconsciously shivered. He turned his head and looked at the direction of his entrance. The scar-faced man who claimed that he wanted to teach him a lesson, the human bomb, was standing there looking at him. Li Fan hooked his finger at him, and he was so scared that his face turned pale. He took 2 steps back, and then he didn't care about his face and ran away. Is there anyone else? Li Fan stretched out a finger and pointed at the ceiling. I, a high school student, will challenge all of you tonight. Who can fight me? His words were imposing, but no one dared to respond. Such a big club, which used to be very noisy, was so quiet that even a pin drop could be heard. They were afraid, and they even began to fear Li Fan. It seems that our strongest high school student is worthy of his reputation. The host also took a long time to react. He had been working here for so long, but this was the first time he saw such a thing. Now, we invite our staff to clean up the venue, and also the strongest high school student to take a break. After half an hour, we will continue tonight's exciting match. Although the host was experienced, he didn't know how to warm up the scene. The appearance of Li Fan broke everyone's common sense. This high school student, who is he? A staff respectfully invited Li Fan back to the VIP lounge. At this time, Huang Lei was in the lounge, holding a mop to wipe the floor. When he saw Li Fan coming in, he was surprised. "Hey, big brother, why are you back?" "Huang Lei, what are you doing?" Seeing Huang Lei mopping the floor, Li Fan suddenly frowned. Ha. I saw that the floor is a bit dirty, so I wiped it. I usually like to work, so I'm used to it. Huang Lei dryly laughed twice. Li Fan seemed to understand something. When he was about to speak, the staff who followed him in hurriedly said, "Our boss said that this lounge belongs to Mr. Li tonight. Please feel free to use it. Our boss will immediately come over to have a drink with Mr. Li." Chapter 51. 2 consecutive wins. This was common in the club. However, this strongest high school student was able to destroy all of them with a single move. There was no hesitation at all. As the boss of the club, it was the first time Su Qin took the initiative to meet a player. He was wearing a black mink coat, holding a cigar in his hand as he sat in the VIP lounge. Behind him stood 2 bodyguards in black. Each of them was tall and burly, with a murderous aura around them. One look and you could tell that they were not ordinary people. These 2 bodyguards were also hired by Su Qin at a high price to protect his personal safety. He had to meet this so-called high school student because he was a dark horse. He was the banker tonight, and because of him, he won a lot of money. However, Su Qin was not happy because Li Fan's appearance broke the balance of their club. With a one-sided expert around, he would lose all the money he earned tonight sooner or later. Perhaps the club would have to close down because of this. The most important thing was that this expert was uncontrollable. "Mr. Li, this is 500,000 in cash. Please check it." Su Qin clapped his hands. The bodyguard next to him immediately took out a safe, placed it on the table in front of Li Fan, and opened it. It was filled with bright red banknotes, and the amount was definitely not small. Li Fan was slightly dizzy. It was the first time in his life that he had seen so much money. Huang Lei also could not sit still. He immediately picked up a bundle, flipped through it, and said to Li Fan with some excitement, "Big brother, it's all real money." This little brother's words are quite interesting. Su Qin smiled. "Are you doubting me, Su Chen's character?" "Not at all. Boss Su has a big business. 500,000 to you is simply a drop in the bucket," Huang Lei quickly said with a smile. Li Fan waved his hand, letting Huang Lei stand behind him. Although he was only a high school student, he understood that there was no such thing as a free lunch in the world. Take Muronging for example. She was such a beautiful martial arts alliance master. Why would she throw herself at him? Wasn't it because he had a pure young body? She just wanted to have a child with him and carry on the family line. There were no feelings between them. Li Fan knew very well that he was not a fool. If you want to be good, you have to rely on yourself. He wanted to bring the 5 animals frolics. No, the 5 animals combined attack technique to greater heights and become a man of indomitable spirit. Li Fan was very angry. He glanced at the $500,000 in front of him and said, "Isn't Boss Su too generous? He gave me such a big red packet on our first meeting. Brother, I think you're a talent." Su Qin said slowly, "But listen to this brother's advice. One must be steady and know when to stop. I don't understand Boss Su's words. Li Fan did not go along with Su Chen's meaning. Instead, he asked, Boss Su has such a big deal. Isn't it open for business? Don't tell me you're going to drive the guests out. Every trade has its own rules. Su Chen was not angry. He took a puff of his cigar. Brother is a dragon crossing the river. Naturally, he wouldn't understand the rules of a local bully like me. This $500,000 is a gift from an older brother to a younger brother. Just treat it as making a friend. In the future, if younger brother has any trouble in this place, you can also inform your older brother. As an older brother, I'll do whatever I can for my younger brother. Oh my God. In this city, there's nothing that Boss Su can't do. Huang Lei's face lit up. My brother will definitely make friends with him. Wait a minute. Li Fan was unhappy. Why is there always someone who wants to use his power to suppress me? Mr. Su, I can tell that you're trying to kick me out of here. Li Fan closed the money box and pushed it back to Su Chen. Huang Lei seemed to be a little anxious, but he didn't speak. You have your rules, and I have my own ideas. I can't accept this gift. Today, I'm here to play underground boxing. Why, Boss Su, you don't allow people to play underground boxing here. Of course, of course. Su Chen's eyes flashed, but younger brother, you have to think about it. 9 out of 10 people who play underground boxing here will be injured. If you drop any parts, this $500,000 may not be enough for you to see a doctor. Boss Su, if you have the ability, I can even give you my head. Li Fan lost his temper. This son of a bitch is threatening me. Today, I'm going to destroy your club. If you have the ability, let's talk on the stage. Good. Younger brother, you're really heroic. Su Chen spat out a mouthful of fragrant smoke. I wish younger brother a big victory tonight and walk out of here alive. With that, Su Chen, along with his 2 bodyguards, directly went out of the VIP lounge without looking back. That $500,000, he threw it on the table without even looking at it. Son of a bitch. Li Fan couldn't help but curse, don't act like a dick in front of me. This son of a bitch earns hundreds of millions in a day, yet he threw me $500,000 and asked me to leave. Are you trying to get rid of a beggar? Brother, our money. Even if you win in the end, it's only $200,000. Huang Lei estimated, this deal is not worth it. Huang Lei, let me ask you. Li Fan frowned and asked Li Fan, someone offered you $500,000 to fuck your own mother, will you do it? My mother is already dead. Huang Lei touched the back of his head. Fuck, then someone offered you $500,000 to fuck your chrysanthemum, will you do it? Then you have to wear a condom. If you don't wear a condom, you'll get sick. Fuck your mother. Someone offered you $500,000 to kneel down and call him father, will you do it? Li Fan was about to collapse. You can call me grandpa. Fuck off. Li Fan was furious. Backbone, do you know what backbone means? Li Fan pointed at his heart, a person lives with backbone. If you don't even have this backbone, what's the point of living? Big brother, I'm not Wen Tianxiang, and I'm not Lu Holan. Why do I need this backbone? Huang Lei raised 2 fingers. I, Huang Lei, in the underworld, want my life and money. I don't care about anything else. Really, I can't even talk to you. Li Fan was furious. In the future, when you follow me, backbone is number 1. Remember, a man should live his life with dignity. Don't kneel down and ask for money, that's a beggar. Huang Lei muttered, but to stand up and beg, we're worse than a beggar, what did you say? Li Fan raised his eyebrows. I said, brother, you're mighty and domineering, invincible in the universe. Huang Lei quickly changed his words. You're my role model, my goal to strive for. Your radiance shines on me, lighting up a beacon for my dark life. Go away, stop flattering me. Li Fan wanted to kick him. I'm only playing for this week. There are too few experts here, it's boring. After earning enough money for the billiard hall, I won't come to such a foul place anymore. He really did not like this place, but Huang Lei sighed. Brother, you're right, but it's hard to say if we can walk out of here alive today. Chapter 52. Half an hour later, Li Fan had returned to the arena. As for what Huang Lei said, he did not take it to heart. What era was it? There were no gangsters anymore. Everyone was a gangster. It was a competition of who was stronger. It was a competition of relationships and connections. Even if it was Su Qin, would he kill him? In a society ruled by law, Li Fan did not believe that society could be so dark. Thanks to him, Huang Lei did not need to clean up anymore. He could sit in the audience seats and watch the match. Seeing Li Fan, Huang Lei was excited and shouted to the audience. See! This is my big brother. My big brother. Isn't he awesome? Isn't he awesome? Ha! The audience rolled their eyes at him. Because of your big brother, we lost a lot. Ha ha ha, we made a lot of money tonight. Huang Lei was still happy. Suddenly, a big man in black came up to him and covered Huang Lei's mouth and nose with a handkerchief. Woo! Huang Lei didn't even have time to react before his nose was covered and he fainted. No one cared about Huang Lei. The big man in black carried Huang Lei, who had passed out, away under the watchful eyes of the audience. But Li Fan did not know that he was still waiting for his opponent. He had won 2 matches in a row and failed to negotiate with Su Qin. He did not know what kind of opponent the club would arrange for him. He hoped that his opponent would not disappoint him. This is the climax of our match tonight. The host continued to ignite the atmosphere with his voice. Our strongest high school student, tonight's star, will challenge our last match's champion, the red-faced god of war. Roar! The audience went wild again. Li Fan was curious. Who was this red-faced god of war? While he was guessing, the sound of hooves came from the exit in front of him. Trot! Trot! Thud! The sound of the horse's hooves was very clear. Even in this noisy arena, it could still be heard by Li Fan. But why was there the sound of hooves? Li Fan was somewhat puzzled. The sound of hooves was getting closer and closer. Soon, a figure slowly appeared in Li Fan's line of sight. Li Fan's eyes widened, because in front of him was a man riding a war horse. This man was more than 6 feet tall and had a burly figure. He was clearly a modern man, but he wore a 3 mountains flying phoenix hat on his head. He wore a set of golden armor and a dark green battle robe. He wore a pair of cloud boots and held a 2-meter-long crescent blade in his hand. This person seemed to have returned from the battlefield. His murderous aura surged and went straight to his heart, causing Li Fan's hair to stand on end. The precious horse he was riding on was also not an ordinary one. It had a blood-red glow on its body, just like the legendary Fergana horse. Li Fan was a little surprised. This person's face was a little red, as if he really was the legendary god of war, Guan Yu. This underground boxing competition was really interesting. Even such a person would appear. Are you my enemy today? The silver-armored, red-faced man on the horse asked Li Fan. His voice was like a great bell. Brother, are you cosplaying? Li Fan couldn't help but ask, why are you dressed like this? Isn't it too shocking? As soon as he finished speaking, the crescent blade in the red-faced god of war's hand suddenly moved with the momentum of wind and thunder. In the blink of an eye, it was pressed against Li Fan's throat. Don't talk nonsense. I am the descendant of Guan Yuncheng, Guan Wenbao. If you don't want to die, leave this place immediately. Otherwise, I, Guan Wenbao, will not leave a single person alive. Who are you talking to? Li Fan's palm pressed down on Guan Wenbao's blade. Big brother, are you trying to make me happy? You are the descendant of Guan Yu, and I am the illegitimate son of Li Shimin. Don't talk nonsense with me. Fight me if you have the guts. Just what I want. The two met briefly, and the host continued to stir up the crowd's emotions. The fight hasn't even started yet, and the two masters are already fighting. As the saying goes, two tigers cannot live on the same mountain. One is a tiger coming down from the mountain, and the other is a dragon crossing the river. I don't think either of them will give way to the other. Will the strongest high school student be the strongest, or will our red-faced god of war be invincible? Let's wait and see. The emotions of the surrounding audience were ignited. They were very excited. I won't bully you. Guan Wenbao jumped down from his horse. We have fought on the ground. Good, you are a man. Li Fan nodded. Then let's fight to our heart's content. Guan Wenbao turned around, and his armor made a cracking sound. At the same time, his crescent moon blade spun and slashed down heavily at Li Fan with the sound of air being torn apart. This slash was earth-shattering like a thunderbolt. Even Li Fan wouldn't dare to take this slash head-on. He hesitated for a moment. At this moment, the speed of the saber slowed down in his eyes. Li Fan's body entered the ape strike, and his steps created a phantom. Before Guan Wenbao could see Li Fan's movements clearly, Li Fan had already dodged his slash and arrived in front of him. What? Guan Wenbao was also a martial artist. He believed in his thunderous slash, but he didn't expect Li Fan to be faster. Ape-long fist. Under the effect of the ape strike, Li Fan's fist was extremely fast, like a pendulum, smashing at Guan Wenbao's temple. Li Fan could also see that Guan Wenbao was an expert. For him to be able to swing such a heavy crescent blade so easily, he definitely had the help of internal energy. Sure enough, Guan Wenbao tilted his head slightly and retracted his crescent blade. He placed it in front of him and blocked Li Fan's long fist. Dang! Li Fan's fist smashed on the long pole. If it was made of wood, it would probably be smashed by Li Fan's fist. However, Guan Wenbao's crescent blade was made of iron, and when he struck it, it was like he was striking a bell. Li Fan's fist was shaken away, and he took a step back. Guan Wenbao didn't hold the large blade firmly, and he staggered along with the blade, nearly falling down. Good fish technique. Guan Wenbao's eyes flashed with a strange light. What's your name? Who is your master? Remember, my name is Li Fan. I'm self-taught. Li Fan also focused on Guan Wenbao's hand. For an expert like Guan Wenbao, he could determine his next move just by looking at his hand and shoulder movements. Although Muronging taught him the basic 5 animal frolics, the 5 animal combined attack was comprehended by himself. Self-taught. Guan Wenbao raised his eyebrows. Stop bragging. Your martial art is unfathomable, and I can tell it's not an ordinary martial art. How could you comprehend such a divine art by yourself? Forget it if you don't believe me. As Li Fan spoke, he suddenly lowered his body and entered the state of the tiger strike. Guan Wenbao frowned. At that moment, he seemed to see a ferocious tiger coming down the mountain and pouncing at him. This battle was going to be a serious one. Chapter 53. Guan Wenbao held his crescent blade and looked at Li Fan, who looked like a ferocious tiger descending the mountain. Countless thoughts flashed through his mind. This person was a martial artist, but martial artists were not allowed to enter this club. The reason why Guan Wenbao was here was because he had an agreement with Su Qin. He maintained an undefeated record, and at the same time, he had to deal with those martial artists who mistakenly entered the club. For the past year, Guan Wenbao had been serving in this arena. As long as he worked for 10 years, he would be free. During this period, he would do whatever Su Qin asked him to do. However, with his crescent blade, he really hadn't met any decent opponents in this arena. A martial artist like Li Fan, on the contrary, had aroused Guan Wenbao's competitive spirit. "Braggart, today I'll let you know what a real expert is." Guan Wenbao practiced the Guan family saber technique, which had been passed down from generation to generation. It could kill enemies on the battlefield and slaughter tigers off the horse. The true qi in his body surged and instantly filled the crescent blade. In Li Fan's eyes, the crescent blade seemed to light up with a bewitching red light, as if it was burning with flames. Mad Dragon goes to sea. Guan Wenbao's saber technique was exquisite. The crescent blade in his hand was like a real dragon that had come to life. The crimson saber aura rose along with the blade and went straight for Li Fan. The Guan family's saber technique was about speed, accuracy, and ruthlessness. Complemented by true qi, it made the saber as domineering as an emperor after it was unleashed. Ordinary enemies could only see a flash of fire, and then they would be cut in half by the raised saber. In this arena, Guan Wenbao had never used such a move before. After all, it was a move to kill. Against ordinary underground fighters, he could make them admit defeat with 3 ordinary slashes. However, this time, Guan Wenbao did not have the slightest negligence. In front of him was a martial artist, an expert. His strength was almost equal to his own, and both of them had perfected cultivation. Although such a young hero deserved respect. But for the sake of his family, he could only win. Good timing. However, Li Fan was not afraid at all. Instead, he laughed out loud when he saw this domineering blade. The martial spirit that was burning in his bones made him surge with passion. Although Guan Wenbao's slash was extremely fast, in his eyes, it was slowed down by 70 to 80%. Crane strike. The white crane nods. Li Fan pinched his 5 fingers into the shape of a crane's beak. Wrapped in genuine qi, he condensed it into a single point and ruthlessly struck Guan Wenbao's saber. Clang! For the first time, the crescent blade in Guan Wenbao's hand was knocked away. It bounced to the side along with Guan Wenbao's arm. At the same time, Li Fan used the force of the impact to turn his body and kick at Guan Wenbao's head with his right foot. Deer strike. White deer kick the door. Li Fan was wearing a pair of iron shoes. Although his kung fu was powerful, his real killing move was in his pair of feet. This was because Li Fan was thinking when he had nothing to do. Sparring was extremely dangerous. No matter how high the cultivation level of both parties was, victory or defeat was often within 2 or 3 moves. How to finish off the enemy within 3 moves was the true meaning of Li Fan's pursuit. As the saying went, the hands were 2 doors, and it all depended on the feet to kick people. In Li Fan's 5 animals combined attack, it was mainly based on fist techniques. He was thinking if he could make the enemy mistakenly think that he was proficient in fist techniques and ignore his leg techniques. Thus, for an entire month, Li Fan practiced this white deer kick the door move almost every day in front of a big tree in front of his door. A month later, Li Fan kicked the tree in half barefoot. This was Li Fan's belief. 5 animals frolics, he wanted to carry forward this martial art. At this moment, this white deer kick the door move had been kicked to the extreme by Li Fan. Guan Wenbao did not expect that Li Fan's true killing move was actually in his legs. He had been concentrating on observing the movements of Li Fan's hands. When he reacted, it was already too late. Although Guan Wenbao's martial arts skills were outstanding, his reaction speed was fast. But this kick still caught him off guard. He hurriedly placed the crescent moon saber in front of him to block his face. But Li Fan's kick landed heavily on the saber. This hard saber was actually bent by Li Fan's kick. The saber's surface, along with the impact, slapped Guan Wenbao's face. Guan Wenbao's face received a strong impact. His face was slapped red by the saber. His entire body was kicked by Li Fan and he almost fell to the ground. But a martial artist was a martial artist. Guan Wenbao's waist and horse kung fu was excellent. His legs were spread apart, his body was halfway up, and he forcefully stabilized himself. However, Li Fan had already raised his leg up high. With a standard chop, he chopped down at Guan Wenbao. Guan Wenbao held his crescent moon saber horizontally in front of him, blocking Li Fan's kick. But the force of Li Fan's kick could no longer be blocked. Guan Wenbao directly fell heavily on the ground with his saber. Li Fan's eyes were clearly red from fighting. Hot blood rushed to his head, and he forgot many things to the back of his mind. He pressed his body down and actually grabbed Guan Wenbao's saber. Although the saber was bent, it was still sharp. As long as Li Fan chopped down, Guan Wenbao's head would fall to the ground. Was it going to end here? Guan Wenbao closed his eyes, his heart filled with regret. He was not afraid of death, but he had lost the face of his family. He didn't die in the martial arts arena, but in this damned underground fighting arena. But at this moment, the Fergana horse behind Guan Wenbao suddenly let out a pitter-patter sound and charged towards Li Fan. Li Fan's eyes lit up as he raised the crescent moon saber in his hand. Don't kill her. When Guan Wenbao heard the sound, he knew that it was not good and hurriedly shouted. Li Fan originally wanted to chop down with his saber, but when he heard Guan Wenbao's heart-wrenching cry, he immediately turned the blade and used the back of the saber to ruthlessly slap the warhorse's head. Bang! The warhorse immediately fell to the ground. It could only move its hooves for a long time, but it could not stand up. I'm here to fight, not to kill. With a clang, Li Fan threw away the curved crescent moon saber in his hand and said to Guan Wenbao, I'll tell you again, this set of moves is called the 5 Animals Combined Attack Technique. I figured it out myself. If you're not convinced, we can try again. I'm convinced. Guan Wenbao let out a long sigh. Your martial arts far surpasses mine. Thank you for not killing me. I have no way to repay you, then there's no need to repay me. Li Fan no longer paid attention to Guan Wenbao, but raised his head, raised a finger again and asked loudly. Me. I'm number 1 tonight. If anyone wants to challenge me, come at me. You cowards sitting in the audience, all of you are like dogs. Do you think you can control the life and death of others just because you have some money? You're all fucking cowards. Who has the guts, come down and fight me. As he spoke, Li Fan raised his head to take a glance, and then he kicked the crescent blade. The crescent moon saber immediately flew out and spun a few times in the air. Then, it pierced through the glass at the highest point of the room and stabbed into the sofa beside Su Qin. Chapter 54. Su Qin sat there, the crescent blade's shaft was next to his face. He calmly took a puff of his cigar. Young people are too impulsive. He stood up and patted the dust off his black mink coat. As an older brother, I have to teach him how to conduct himself. After fighting for so long, he's probably hungry. You phone, invite him to the restaurant to eat something. Yes. A bodyguard dressed in black beside him immediately walked out of the room. Not long after, the bodyguard saw Li Fan. Mr. Li, our boss invites you to dinner. Li Fan was looking for Huang Lei at this time. He didn't know where this kid ran off to. When the bodyguard appeared, Li Fan was very impatient. No, I'm not a girl, what's there to see? Li Fan waved his hand, tell your boss that I won't be coming anymore. We'll mind our own business. Mr. Li Yufeng, as Su Chen's bodyguard, was more or less infected with Su Chen's speaking habits, with a kind of arrogance. My boss has already invited your friend as a guest. You arrested Huang Lei. Li Fan frowned, he suddenly took a step forward. Yufeng subconsciously reached out and pulled out the taser gun from his chest. Yufeng, as Su Chen's bodyguard, was naturally very outstanding. He was internationally famous. In the professional international bodyguard competition, he was ranked in the top 500. Although this taser gun could only be fired once, its power was not bad. It was still a contraband in the country, but it was a standard for Su Chen's bodyguards. Anyway, this thing couldn't kill people. It could be used to protect oneself in private. If there was no shooting, the higher-ups wouldn't look for trouble. Yufeng was also a fast shooter, his speed of drawing the gun was first class. His rapid shooting within 10 meters had always maintained the top 10 record, which was called a lightning gun. He was confident that he could kill any enemy within 10 meters, which was his forbidden zone. But this time, as soon as he pulled out the stun gun, Li Fan's fingers had already patted his wrist. Courting death. Li Fan swatted away Yufeng's stun gun with one hand. At the same time, he grabbed Yufeng's neck with his other hand and slammed him against the wall behind him. Bastard! You can't beat me, so you attack my people. If he loses a single hair, I'll break your neck. Li Fan's palm was like an iron clamp, causing Yufeng's face to turn red. If you kill me, he will also die. In the end, Yufeng was a tough guy. He still didn't give in. Li Fan was filled with hatred. He threw Yufeng to the side and knocked over a chair. Mr. Li, please follow me. Yufeng did not say a word. He quietly got up and continued to politely extend an invitation to Li Fan. Alright, who cares if it's a Hongmen banquet or not, young master will pay him a visit. Although he and Huang Lei had not known each other for a long time, he treated him respectfully as a big brother. Now that his little brother was in trouble, as a big brother, he couldn't just leave him alone. Even if he was a high school student, he must have the awareness that a man should have. If he abandoned Huang Lei and ran away, would he still be a human? But this boss Su was too much. He was such a big boss, but he actually played this trick. What a fucking insult. Li Fan was filled with anger. He followed the bodyguard Yufeng all the way to the restaurant. The decoration of this restaurant was magnificent. The surrounding walls were goldfish ponds. Who knew how expensive the tropical fish were? And Su Chen was sitting in the middle, enjoying an Australian lobster. There were a lot of bodyguards in black standing in the room. Each of them looked fierce. At first glance, it was obvious that this was not a good scene. Huang Lei was sitting next to Su Chen. They were supposed to have dinner together, but his expression was not very good. After all, with a machete on his neck, no one would be able to eat well. Big brother, Boss Su insisted on treating us to dinner. He's too enthusiastic. I couldn't refuse him. When Huang Lei saw Li Fan, it was as if he saw his savior. Then he said to Su Chen, Boss Su, look, even my big brother is here. If you have anything to say it to my big brother. I'm just a little brother. How could I be qualified to sit at the same table with you? My butt is dirty. If I dirty your chair. With that, he tried to stand up, but the machete on his neck pressed down. He had no choice but to sit back down. Boss Su, you're being a bit unreasonable. Li Fan frowned and said with sarcasm, I thought Boss Su was a big shot. I didn't expect him to also like to play this dirty trick. Brother, you worry too much. I'm just treating you to dinner. Su Chen said and snapped his fingers. The Yufeng immediately walked over and took out a safe from the side. After opening it, it was filled with money. Here's 1,200,000 of them were won by you tonight. Su Chen laughed. The other 800,000 was given to you by me because I appreciate you. You don't look like you're treating us to money. Li Fan coldly snorted. I don't have the fortune to enjoy it, Boss Su. Brother, you're too polite. Su Chen sneered. To me, this money is not as valuable as a tropical fish in the fish tank next to it. In other words, you worked hard all night, but it's not as valuable as a fish here, you know? He pointed to the fish tank next to him and continued. You won the game. I can't not give you this money. I can't let outsiders say that I, Su Chen, am stingy. However, you broke my, Su Chen's rules. If I let you leave here safely, I can't give my brothers an explanation. What do you mean? Are they going to fight already? Li Fan secretly operated the true qi in his body, ready to fight at any time. Don't worry, I'm a fair person. Su Chen said with a smile, I'll give you 2 ways to choose. 1. Kneel down, come in front of me and beg me. This 1 million is still yours. I can also return you the person. What about the second way? Do you see the shark behind us? Su Chen pointed to the back. You too, go feed the fish. Boss Su. Isn't it just kneeling? My big brother has a reputation, so it's not convenient. How about I kneel in front of you and kowtow with each step? What do you think? Huang Lei hurriedly said, but Yufeng took a step forward and kicked him to the ground. What the hell, do you have the right to speak? What the hell, fuck. Li Fan clenched his fists. Yufeng, get down. Su Chen slapped Yufeng's face. You have to look at the owner before you hit the dog. The owner didn't speak. Why are you so excited? Apologize to Mr. Li. I'm sorry, Mr. Li, I was impulsive. Clap clap clap. Li Fan applauded. You're Boss Su after all, even the way you hit the dog is so stylish. Young man, don't speak with gunpowder. Su Chen was very indifferent. Which way, brother, you choose. Chapter 55. Boss Su, I'm sorry. Li Fan laughed. I'm young and impetuous. I never walk the path that others choose for me. But no one can stop me from walking the path that I want to walk. Fine, this 1 million is right here. As long as brother can get it, you can take it. Su Chen pulled out a cigar. Yufeng quickly stepped forward and carefully lit Su Chen with a non-sulfur match. I want to see how hard brother's life is. While speaking, the surrounding bodyguards immediately turned into thugs. Each of them pulled out a baton from their bosom and fiercely stared at Li Fan. Brother. Be careful. If you can't do it, just run. Huang Lei shouted, in any case, I'm just a little punk. At most, I'll be beaten. Boss Su won't kill people like me. Dirty hands, isn't that right, Boss Su? Slap. Although there was a previous warning, Yufeng stepped forward and slapped Huang Lei's mouth. Motherfucker, do you have the qualification to talk to my boss? You dog. Good hit. Hit me a few more times. Huang Lei spat out a mouthful of blood and then said with a smile, in any case, I'm asking for it. Brothers, beat me up and then let my brother go. Huang Lei. Don't talk nonsense. Li Fan anxiously said, what if you're really beaten to death? Quickly shut your mouth. Brother. Don't worry, I'm a cockroach, my life is hard. Huang Lei shouted and was kicked by Yufeng again. Hit! Hit! Hit as you wish. Huang Lei shouted, hit me, let my brother go. Shut your dog mouth. Yufeng picked up a nearby wine bottle and was about to open Huang Lei's head. Li Fan grabbed a fork from the nearby table and threw it out. Pooh! The fork stabbed right into Yufeng's palm. The pain made him let go of the bottle, and his right hand trembled. Since you guys want to play, I'll play with you. Li Fan exhaled deeply, and his eyes suddenly lit up with dazzling starlight. Bear strike! Two thugs in black had already rushed in front of Li Fan, the batons in their hands aimed at Li Fan fiercely. Under the effect of the bear strike technique, Li Fan's Jinqi circulated throughout his entire body, as though he was wearing an invisible armor. The two thugs in black were also professionals. One of them swung his baton at Li Fan's lungs, while the other swung his baton at Li Fan's ribs. However, Li Fan remained unmoved and allowed the two of them to swing their rods at him. Pang pang! Two muffled sounds rang out, but Li Fan relied on his Jinqi to forcefully resist the attacks of the two thugs. Without waiting for them to react, Li Fan had already stretched out his hands and grabbed their heads. Pang! Li Fan exerted strength in his hands and smashed their heads together. The two thugs immediately groaned and fainted. Another two thugs rushed over from the side. Li Fan kicked the table beside him, and the 2-meter-long round table immediately flew out and smashed into the two thugs, causing them to fall to the ground. However, Su Qin did not have many other things, but he had a lot of people. The room was filled with more than 30 thugs. Under Su Chen's signal, they no longer used batons, but instead took out an axe from behind their backs and held it in their hands. This formation was a bit like the Axe Gang on TV, but Li Fan did not have the slightest bit of fear. He took a retro ore from the wall beside him, held it in his hand, and waved it a few times, feeling that it was just right. A thug rushed in front of Li Fan, but Li Fan directly swung the ore in his hand, smashing that thug's head. The thug was directly beaten to the ground and fainted on the spot. Facing so many enemies, Li Fan still maintained a calm demeanor, as if he was just playing a game. He used the ore in his hand like a divine weapon. Every time he swung it, he would be able to knock down a thug in black. There were obviously so many thugs, but none of them could get close to Li Fan. With this ore as the distance, a 2-meter radius around Li Fan formed a vacuum. Brother, you really have good skills. Su Chen did not panic, you really are a martial artist. But brother, you probably don't know that this place of mine has never welcomed any martial artists. Now that you've entered my territory, you've broken my rules, so you can't blame me for this. Fuck you. The rules are all set by you. Li Fan disdainfully said, I walk my own path. I don't need anyone to set the rules for me. Boss Su Chen, I want to see if your rules are stronger or my ore is harder. With that, Li Fan walked step by step towards Su Chen. The surrounding thugs could no longer watch. One of the thugs in black pounced over, his mouth roaring again and again. Li Fan thrust the ore in his hand forward, and the ore hit that thug's nose. Pooh! The thug was hit and flew out. With a nosebleed, he fiercely fell to the ground and fainted. But as Li Fan moved, more thugs in black pounced over. With the ore in his hand, Li Fan slapped left and right, constantly knocking down those thugs in black. Li Fan's movements were neat and tidy, without the slightest bit of sloppiness. With each step he took, the distance between him and Su Chen was less than 5 meters. Really a bunch of trash. Yufeng picked up his axe and threw it at Li Fan. This axe spun in the air a few times and went straight towards Li Fan. Li Fan calmly flicked his ore and sent Yufeng's axe flying. However, the thugs in black around him followed suit and threw out their axes one by one, trying to chop Li Fan into minced meat with the rain of axes. Li Fan did not have the slightest bit of fear. The oar in his hand continued to slap. None of the surrounding axes were able to get close to him, and all of them were sent flying by Li Fan's oar. Ding, ding, dang, 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 dang. The surrounding thugs in black hurriedly dodged because the axes were heading towards them. Quite a few thugs in black were injured by the axe. Su Chen sat there, and he finally seemed to be moved. Li Fan took another step forward and was now very close to Su Chen. Go to hell. Ning Feng pulled out his taser gun and shot it, preparing to knock out Li Fan. But this high-speed taser seemed to slow down in Li Fan's eyes. With a sweep of his oar, he sent the taser flying to the side and electrocuted a thug beside him, causing him to dance disco on the spot. Impossible. Ning Feng could not believe his eyes. But Li Fan took a step forward and used the oar in his hand to hit Ning Feng's head, causing Ning Feng's body to flip down. Mad Dragon goes to sea. Li Fan's body turned, and he used the move that Guan Wenbao had used in his memory. Ning Feng's body had not yet hit the ground when he was hit by Li Fan's oar. His whole body was sent flying and fell heavily at Su Chen's feet. Chapter 56. Li Fan stood in front of Su Chen. 5 minutes later, Su Chen's thugs were all lying on the ground, while Li Fan did not even have a scratch on his body. He was safe and sound, looking like a majestic general. Huang Lei looked at Li Fan, feeling that he was like a god descending to earth. Big Brother is awesome. So many of Su Chen's professional thugs were all defeated by Big Brother. I really did not follow the wrong person. Big Brother picked a good choice, food and drink can't be lacking. Brother, what do you want to do? Su Chen still maintained his calm and said, this matter, if it ends here, I will pretend that nothing happened. But if you hurt me, I guarantee that you won't be able to walk out of here. Schwa. The oar in Li Fan's hand was placed horizontally next to Su Chen's neck. What if I kill you? Will there still be any trouble? Brother, behind me, there is someone that you can't afford to offend. Su Chen smiled, even if you can kill me, can you kill the person behind me? I don't care about that, I will kill you first. Li Fan said as he fiercely waved the oar in his hand, aiming at Su Chen's head. Su Chen looked at the oar that was chopping down like a thunderbolt from the sky. He finally lost his original calmness and sat on the ground. Li Fan's oar stopped on top of his head. Su Chen's legs slightly trembled. Even after experiencing so many things, at the moment of death, he was still afraid. Because at this moment, he thought of his wife, his mistress, and his son. He was really afraid. He did not want to die. Little brother. Su Chen swallowed a mouthful of saliva. You are still young. You must not walk on the road of death. Big Boss Su, aren't you always very arrogant? Why are you admitting defeat now? Li Fan could not help but sneer, where's your confidence? What about your rules? Brother, let's talk this out. Su Chen laughed dryly. I can give you whatever you want. I'm old and have a family and a career. I don't want to die. Then tell me, should I still listen to your rules now? Li Fan asked. No, of course not. Su Chen waved his hand. Little brother, whatever you say. Big brother, let him go. Huang Lei pulled Li Fan back. If you kill him, it'll be really troublesome. Moreover, Boss Su is a man of status. His words definitely count. Yes, count it, count it. Su Chen nodded again and again. The demeanor of a big brother was gone. He did not expect that the dignified Su Chin of a city would be defeated by a high school student today. Therefore, if Boss Su is willing to let bygones be bygones, we'll mind our own business in the future. You go your own way, and we'll go our own way. Boss Su, big brother, what do you think of my idea? Huang Lei's words were in line with Su Chen's thoughts. This high school student in front of him was already red in the eye from fighting. Looking at the burning anger in his eyes, Su Chen could not help but think of himself at this age. At his age, he carried a machete and chopped down a big brother of H city. Later, he escaped to a city and caught the eye of another big brother. Only then did he slowly rise up. Back then, he also had this kind of reckless and hot-blooded spirit. If he was given a machete, he would even dare to chop down the mayor. The currently fan gave him this kind of feeling. In his heart, Su Chen was really a bit scared. He was no longer the hot-blooded teenager from back then. He was already a successful man with a family and a career. That big brother also underestimated him and was chopped to death by him. Little brother, today, it was indeed big brother's fault. Big brother acted cool. In the future, big brother won't dare to do it again. Su Chen could only put down his pride and say good words. Killing me won't do you any good. For example, leave a way out for both of us, how about it? At this time, Li Fan also calmed down. Indeed, this was a modern society, not an ancient martial arts world. If he killed this Su Chen, he would also be put in prison. Although this guy Su Chen was hateful, it was really not worth it to be put in prison for him. Muronging was still waiting for him. He could not do such a stupid thing. Bah, why did he think of Muronging again? Was he really a man? Such a good-for-nothing. Li Fan secretly despised himself. But Su Chen had been around for so many years, his brain could turn fast. Little brother, let me say something from the bottom of my heart. It's not easy for big brother to open a casino. The bonus here is not all mine. Some of it is from my big boss, and some from beating up those government vampires. Su Chen meaningfully patted the money box in front of him. This is not much more than you, little brother. Moreover, the rules of this casino are not set by me, but by them. You broke the rules today. I can let bygones be bygones and laugh it off. But those people will not necessarily let you go. What? There are still people who want to trouble me. Li Fan coldly snorted, whatever. Li Fan, will wait for them. Little brother, what big brother said to you are all good words. Su Chen seemed to be persuading Li Fan, those people are not to be trifled with. As for the rest, I won't say much. You take this 1 million, and we probably won't see each other again. Huang Lei, take out 200,000. Li Fan let Huang Lei take out 200,000, put the rest in the money box, and then borrowed a match from Su Chen. Little brother, do you want to smoke? I have a good cigar here, want one? Su Chen quickly took out his stash. Li Fan did not hesitate, picked up the cigar and put it in his mouth. He refused to use Su Chen's match, but took out 100 yuan bill and lit the cigar with it. Unlike cigarettes, the cigar's smell was very fragrant. Especially the one that Su Chen smoked, it was definitely not an ordinary one. Then, Li Fan waved his hand, and the flaming banknote fell into the money box, lighting the remaining 800,000. Money. Huang Lei was distressed. He wanted to go forward to put out the fire, but was pulled by Li Fan. Boss Su, this 200,000 is what I deserve. He pointed to the burning money box next to him. The remaining 800,000 is to pay off your debt. See you later. After saying that, he led Huang Lei out of the room in a valiant and spirited manner. Little brother. Before Li Fan went out, Su Chen seemed to wake up and suddenly said. If it was 10 years ago, you must be a character. But now. This brother wishes you a long life. He did not know if Su Chen's words were blessing or sarcasm. But no matter what, he took it. When Li Fan came out of the cabin, Guan Wenbao stood next to him and bowed to Li Fan. If there is a chance, we will have a fair fight. Li Fan said to Guan Wenbao. We probably won't have a chance to meet again. Guan Wenbao stared at Li Fan in the dark. Remember, be careful of the genie guards. Now that we have money, don't hold back and spend it freely. He held back his heartache, gritted his teeth, and said, just stay in Enchanting. I want a big bedroom. Let's be extravagant for once. Big brother, you're so funny. Huang Lei held back his laughter. What's the big deal about the Enchanting now that we have money? Big brother, don't worry. I've arranged everything for you tonight. I promise you'll be satisfied. Huang Lei could be considered a local tyrant. He said that he would arrange it, so Li Fan let him be responsible. The two took a taxi and went all the way to Jianggan district. Here, Li Fan couldn't help but feel a little nervous. Lei, why are we here? He looked at the rows of small buildings with dim red lights outside. Isn't this the famous red light district? Is there a place to stay? Of course, big brother, don't worry. I know. Huang Lei patted his chest. I promise that I've arranged everything for big brother. I just want to sleep. Li Fan hurriedly made his position clear. Yes, I just want big brother to have a good sleep. I understand. Huang Lei nodded with a smile. Leave it to me. Li Fan always had a bad feeling, and Huang Lei's various instigation finally tricked Li Fan to get out of the taxi. The night wind was a little cold. Huang Lei shivered with cold, but Li Fan was calm and didn't feel cold at all. Huang Lei couldn't help but be a little envious. Big brother's body was really good for practicing martial arts. He didn't know if he would make a woman fall down in bed. Big brother, here it is. Huang Lei pulled Li Fan to the front of a small building called Warm House. In any case, Li Fan felt that the name was quite good. At least it was elegant. This place. Is it regular? Li Fan was still a little worried. He always felt that the place Huang Lei took him to was definitely not a good place. Regular, of course it's regular. Huang Lei nodded again and again. I used to come here often. It's a good place to relax. Relax? It's to let big brother have a good rest. Huang Lei explained again and again. Big brother, do you not trust me? That's not it. Okay, just don't trick me. Don't worry, big brother. Leave it to me. Huang Lei pulled Li Fan to walk in. The environment inside was also a little dark. As soon as Li Fan entered, he immediately saw a row of girls wearing cool miniskirts coming down from upstairs. Each of them wore heavy makeup. One of them even winked at Li Fan. What the hell? What the hell is this place? Boss, give me 2 sweets. Huang Lei very generously threw the banknotes on the table. Give my big brother the best service. I don't want service. I just want to sleep. Li Fan emphasized again. Little brother, you can rest assured. We guarantee that you will sleep comfortably and soundly here. The proprietress was a woman in her 40s. Her face was also painted like a seductress. She winked at Li Fan. Li Fan trembled a little. He was not even afraid of Su Chen, but he had some invisible fear for this woman. Give my big brother the best. Huang Lei repeatedly ordered the proprietress. The proprietress gave Huang Lei a reassuring look. After that, she asked a waitress to take a bunch of keys and led Li Fan upstairs. Big brother, you go enjoy yourself first. I will be in the room next to yours. Call me if you need anything. Huang Lei waved at Li Fan. Li Fan always felt that Huang Lei's gaze towards the proprietress was filled with greed. This guy. His heavy taste is acting up again. Sir. This is your room. The waitress brought Li Fan to the door of a room. Li Fan took a look and saw a few words pasted on it. Monarch Pavilion. My goodness, this name is really domineering. Does it mean to give the same enjoyment as an emperor? The waitress opened the door and Li Fan walked in. The room was indeed domineering. It gave off the feeling of an ancient palace. That golden dragon bed and the surrounding antique architectural style made Li Fan feel like he had returned to the past when he was an emperor. Just when Li Fan was fantasizing about himself bullying Murong Ying's beloved concubine, the door was slowly pushed open. Chapter 58. Who? Li Fan turns his head and sees a middle-aged woman who weighs more than 200 pounds. She's wearing a bunny costume that looks like it's going to change shape. Shaking her fat butt, she pouts at Li Fan and says coquettishly, I'll chase you. If I manage to catch you, you'll let me, hee hee hee. Go fuck yourself. Li Fan raises his leg and directly kicks the woman out of the door. What the hell? Huang Lei. Big brother, what's wrong? Huang Lei is really in the next room. Hearing Li Fan shout, he runs over wearing a red underwear. What the hell is this? Li Fan points at the fat woman lying on the floor. Fuck, why did you come to this room? Huang Lei chokes with anger. Damn, don't you take your brain with you when you go out? I asked you to go to my room. Why the fuck did you sneak into my big brother's room? What a fucking idiot. Hurry up and get out of my room. After chasing the woman away, Huang Lei embarrassedly apologizes to Li Fan, big brother. I'm sorry, she went to the wrong room, fuck, I almost had a heart attack. Li Fan almost collapses, hee hee hee, her uncle. Huang Lei, you really have a heavy taste. How could you eat something like this? Big brother, stinky tofu smells bad and doesn't look good, but isn't it delicious? Huang Lei laughs. Big brother has never eaten it before, so naturally you don't know the taste. How about you try it first? You're big brother, you go first. Get lost. Li Fan snappily scolds, if you don't let me have a good night's sleep, I'll hang you up and whip you tonight. Don't worry, big brother. I'll definitely arrange a boss for you. Huang Lei turns around and grins, big brother, look, they're here. I'm leaving first. With that, Huang Lei slipped away in his bright red underpants. Then, a row of girls dressed in imperial concubine costumes walked into Li Fan's room one after another. These girls were all young and beautiful. At first glance, they really looked like concubines from the Qing dynasty. Your Majesty, good luck. A total of 8 girls stood in a row and bowed to Li Fan in unison. The Emperor Pavilion. So that's what it meant. Li Fan finally understood. Was this the enjoyment of an imperial king? The 8 imperial concubines walked over and helped Li Fan onto the bed. Some massaged Li Fan's legs, some massaged Li Fan's shoulders, and some fed Li Fan fruits. 2 imperial concubines stood at the side, fanning Li Fan. Your Majesty, are you satisfied? A pretty girl with a bit of baby fat took off Li Fan's shirt and let Li Fan's head rest on her lap. Although this kind of life was a bit depraved, when Li Fan thought of Murong Ying's arrogant look, he couldn't help but feel a sense of betrayal. That's right, this is the feeling I want. Muronging, aren't you powerful with me? Didn't you say that without you, I can't do anything? Now, I'll let you, Muronging, know that without you, I, Li Fan, can still live like an immortal. Your Majesty, your muscles are so stiff. The woman who was acting as an imperial concubine rubbed essential oil on Li Fan and massaged the acupuncture points on his back while whispering in Li Fan's ear, I need to give your Majesty a good massage. Then, I'll have to trouble you, my beloved concubine. Li Fan enjoyed the service of these women. He really enjoyed it a bit. It's so good to be rich. It's a pity that my 800,000 yuan is too big of a deal. Li Fan slowly closed his eyes. After tossing and turning for an entire day, he was indeed a bit tired. His beloved concubine's breath was like an orchid beside his ear, making Li Fan's heart itch. Your Majesty, do you want to let your brother enjoy our unique flamboyant service? Flamboyant service. Such a grand name, let's give it a try. Li Fan said, in any case, money doesn't matter. After earning so much tonight, it would be a waste not to spend it. Money, after earning it, must be spent. This is the only way to make money. Moreover, Huang Lei didn't have it easy tonight. Letting him enjoy a bit is also a must. Li Fan planned to let his brother have a good time tonight. He originally thought that this flamboyant service was some kind of massage technique. He didn't expect that an imperial concubine would directly reach out and pull down Li Fan's pants. What are you doing? Li Fan was taken aback and hurriedly grabbed his pants. Oral sex for your Majesty. The imperial concubine said very seriously. Oral what? Of course, oral sex for your Majesty. The imperial concubine said with a serious face. Isn't it flamboyant service? Yes, we are phoenixes, you are a dragon, we will take you to fly. With that, the imperial concubine even licked her lips, which was called lascivious. But isn't it for my brother? Yes, it's your Majesty's little brother. The imperial concubine grabbed a hard thing through his pants and then winked at Li Fan, Your Majesty's dragon root, it seems that it has already agreed on behalf of your Majesty. No. I don't want this service. Although he was somewhat tempted, Li Fan still refused the imperial concubine's request. My brother is a little uncomfortable today. It's not convenient for him to come out and see others. My beloved concubine, continue the massage and let me have a good rest. You will definitely get tips. Thank you, Your Majesty. The imperial concubines immediately beamed with joy. With such a customer, they couldn't wait to be happy. Only then did Li Fan feel relieved. Damn it, if I lose my first time without knowing why, it would be such a great injustice. Although these women were beautiful, because of their identity, Li Fan didn't want to give away his precious first time. As for this first time, it's better to leave it to Muronging. Bah, why should I leave it to her? Even if I give it to a dog, I won't give it to her. Bah. What do you mean give it to a dog? I'm a moron. Li Fan spat a few times to get rid of the bad luck. The imperial concubines also didn't give any special service to Li Fan anymore and peacefully served him to sleep. These women's technique was also not bad. Li Fan was quite comfortable being massaged, and his physical fatigue was relieved. Soon, he became drowsy and slowly fell asleep. This little friend is a virgin. After a concubine heard Li Fan's light snoring sound, she chatted with her sisters. He actually doesn't even want to do oral sex. I guess, he despises us. It's okay if he does it. This little brother's lower part is quite big. You pervert. Hee. The women played with each other, but their movements were very quiet, afraid that they would wake up Li Fan. At this moment, the curtain at the side was suddenly opened, and a figure floated in with the wind. This was a woman wearing a black long dress, who came with the wind. She wore a black official hat on her head, which wrapped her long hair. The black long dress on her body was like the moonlight in the night, with silver silk edges. On her waist was a black tang knife, which was about 4 feet long. On her feet was a pair of black cloud boots. When she landed, there was no sound at all. The women in the room didn't feel such a person's arrival. Chapter 59. This woman was as beautiful as a flower. Unfortunately, she was blind in one eye and wore a black blindfold. The pattern on the blindfold was that of a black eagle, which seemed to symbolize something. "Ah, you are." One of the concubines was about to turn around and drink water when she saw this woman. Before she could finish her question, the woman suddenly threw out 8 needles that were as thin as hairs and accurately hit each of the concubine's acupoints. These flying needles didn't take their lives but knocked them out. After taking care of them, the woman touched her tang knife and walked towards Li Fan, who was sleeping on the bed. She walked to the bedside of Li Fan and looked at the sleeping Li Fan. Her fingers rested on the saber hilt, and a black shadow suddenly flashed. Li Fan, who was sleeping on the bed, actually disappeared. The golden dragon bed was split in half. In the blink of an eye, Li Fan was hanging upside down on the beam of the room. He frowned and looked at the woman in black who appeared below. "Who are you? How dare you sneak attack the young master while he is sleeping?" Li Fan had been practicing martial arts for a month. Although it wasn't a long time, the training he received was devilish. After all, Tai Zhu would always attack at night. In order to prevent Tai Zhu from succeeding, Li Fan had trained to be vigilant in his sleep. Clang! The one-eyed woman didn't speak. Her fingers rested on the scabbard. Her saber was extremely fast. The previous strike was as fast as lightning. At this moment, the saber had actually returned to the scabbard. She used the scabbard to pick up a jade pendant on her waist. There were 3 characters engraved on it. Embroidered Uniform Guard. Li Fan frowned even more. Isn't this the Ming Dynasty's eagle claw? How can it still be kept? Schwa. The answer to Li Fan was a black tang saber. The edge of the saber was very sharp. The dragon bed was a good example. Li Fan used the ape strike art. His body was as light as a monkey. He leaped along the ceiling and climbed up the chandelier. Then, with a swing of his body, he landed on the opposite wall. In the blink of an eye, the one-eyed woman had already struck out 3 times with her saber, but all of them struck empty air. The woman's only eye was filled with doubt. It should be my turn, right? Li Fan bent his knees, stepped on the wall, and shot forward like a cannonball. His body was light as he grabbed the woman's neck with one hand. Ape strike. Great Sage plucking the stars. This move could be said to be Li Fan's killer move. If he grabbed the woman's neck, he could instantly take her life. This woman exuded a murderous aura. She had come with ill intentions. Li Fan would never be merciful. Being lenient to her was being heartless to himself. However, the woman did not panic at all. She waved her hand and immediately threw out 3 flying needles, aiming at Li Fan's eyebrows and eyes. This flying needle technique could be said to be her unique skill. Usually, it was used for sneak attacks and fatal strikes, and it had never failed before. Well done. Li Fan snorted coldly. Although the 3 flying needles were fast, in his eyes, they were automatically slowed down. Li Fan's pure young body had bestowed him with powerful martial arts skills. Moreover, his great sage star picking technique was prepared for this moment. Almost in an instant, Li Fan's hand reached out 3 times like lightning, leaving 3 afterimages. He directly caught the 3 flying needles in his hand. I'm returning them to you. Although his flying needles were not that good, Li Fan's strength was that he had 11 years of true qi. Moreover, he was very close to the one-eyed woman. The 3 flying needles were immediately shot out like bullets, attacking the one-eyed woman instead. The one-eyed woman was even more surprised. However, she had experienced hundreds of battles and was obviously not an ordinary expert. Although Li Fan's actions were out of her expectations, she still quickly raised the Tang saber in her hand and placed it in front of her, assuming a defensive posture. Dang, dang, dang. The 3 flying needles were accurately deflected by the Tang saber's scabbard. However, Li Fan's attack had already arrived in front of her. That palm carried a force that could not be ignored, heading towards the one-eyed woman's face. Humph. The one-eyed woman snorted coldly, as if she did not put Li Fan's palm in her eyes. Unexpectedly, she also raised her hand and her palm met Li Fan's palm. Bang! The 2 palms collided and separated. The woman groaned, took 3 steps back, and spat out a mouthful of blood. Li Fan did not fare well either. His body flipped in the air and landed on the ground. His qi and blood were still in turmoil. If not for his strong internal force, he would have spat out a mouthful of blood. The one-eyed woman looked at Li Fan a few more times. She noticed that his face was glowing red, as if nothing had happened. She could only frown and lift her feet to head out of the window. Where are you going? Li Fan did not want to let go of this assassin. He immediately chased after her. However, the woman turned around and threw out a handful of flying needles. Li Fan used the great sage picking stars to catch all of them. By the time Li Fan regained his senses, the woman had already escaped through the window. The night was boundless. He did not know where she was going. Damn it. I don't believe I can't catch up to you. Li Fan also jumped out of the window. He was on the 3rd floor. After jumping out, he stretched out his hand and grabbed onto the window. His whole body swung up. Using his true qi and qigong, his body flipped in the air and landed steadily on the 5th floor's balcony. The woman had indeed disappeared. He did not know where she had escaped to. Damn it, consider yourself lucky that you ran fast. Li Fan fiercely stomped his feet. A few cracks appeared on the concrete floor of the building. This person came to kill him. This meant that she was definitely not someone to be trifled with. But who was the one who wanted to kill him? Could it be an expert sent by Su Qin? Didn't seem like it. Li Fan felt that Su Qin would not be able to invite such an expert. Judging from the palm exchange earlier, this woman's strength was at least at the advanced level. Moreover, she should have internal injuries. Otherwise, even if they were to compete in internal energy, she would not lose to him. Also, what was the meaning of that waist token that represented the Imperial Uniform Guard? Everything was like a mystery, shrouding Li Fan's heart. No, he could not enjoy it here. He had to return home. He could only ask Moronging about the Jianghu. However, when she saw him, he did not know what method she would use to punish him. He had to resign himself to fate. He could not just wait for death. Li Fan sent a message to Huang Lei, telling him to meet him at the billiard hall at noon tomorrow. At the same time, he jumped and stepped on the balcony. With Qinggong, he leaped 10 meters away. With the help of Qinggong, Li Fan could leap over eaves and vault over walls. This feeling was indeed a little strange. But Li Fan was not in the mood to appreciate the moonlight. He quickened his pace. In less than 20 minutes, he had returned to the front of his house. This 3-story villa was still lit. It seemed to be waiting for the return of the owner. It was so late, but Muronging was still awake. It was better not to startle her. He should go back to his room first. Li Fan tiptoed and gently jumped to the window of his room. Then, with a flip of his hand, he easily jumped into the room. But after jumping in, he was stunned. This was because Muronging was sitting on the rope as light as a feather, as if she was playing on a swing. Finally willing to come back. Chapter 60. Ahem. Why haven't you slept yet? Li Fan looked at Muronging and couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. What a disappointment. She's just a woman, why should I be afraid of her? As a man, even if he didn't go to bed at night, there's no need to explain to her. Are you still angry with me? He had thought that Muronging would give him a harsh scolding, but instead, she paused and asked him a question. This question made Li Fan stumped. He originally wanted to talk back, but Muronging didn't play according to the routine, which made him dumbfounded. How to answer? If he said he wasn't angry, then he wouldn't have to go out to fight underground and enjoy himself in the red light district. No, that's not called enjoying, that's called experiencing life. If he said he was angry, it would seem that he was a little narrow-minded. I know. I didn't care about your face. Muronging gently supported her chin with one hand, as if she was thinking seriously. Li Fan had to admit that this woman was a perfect woman in all aspects. No matter from which angle, she was so beautiful. I said harsh words to you during the day. It's my fault. What? Did I hear it wrong? She actually apologized to me. Did the sun rise from the west? Li Fan looked at Muronging in surprise. He couldn't help but walk forward, tiptoed, and gently touched Muronging's forehead with the back of his hand. What are you doing? Muronging slapped away Li Fan's hand, but Li Fan said. You're not sick. Why are you talking nonsense? You're sick. Muronging glared at Li Fan. I think you're a cheap wretch. Do you want others to scold you to be happy? Yes. This is my wife. Li Fan was so excited that he burst into tears. You scared me, I thought you were schizophrenic. You're schizophrenic. Muronging was choking with anger. Rotten wood can't be carved. How am I rotten wood? Muronging, I'm going to argue with you tonight. Li Fan lost his temper. Since Muronging didn't continue to apologize, he had something to say. First, let me ask you, what right do you have to control me? Do I owe you anything? To be precise, your entire family owes me. Muronging thought about it seriously and then answered Li Fan, if you can repay me, I can draw a line between us. Anyway, I'm already pregnant. As long as I have the bloodline of a pure young body, there won't be a problem. What an innocent woman. She actually thought she was pregnant. He really couldn't do anything to her. Since that's the case, your Murong family isn't stingy with this bit of money. Why don't you just kick me away, leave on your own, and go back to being the leader of the Wuling world? Li Fan didn't expose Muronging's fantasy, but asked, aren't you unhappy to be with someone like me? I just don't want the child's father to be a good-for-nothing. Muronging seemed to be unable to bear Li Fan's burning gaze. She turned her head and pretended to be indifferent as she said, it's not that I can't bear to part with you, don't think too highly of yourself. I didn't say you can't bear to part with me. Li Fan wanted to laugh, but he held it in, all right, I'll take it that you're doing it for the child. Then tell me, where did I go wrong today? You also said before, a chivalrous person is a friend and a neighbor. A great chivalrous person is for the country and the people. I'm not considered a chivalrous person, but I'm considered a little chivalrous person, right? Seeing injustice on the road, I pulled out my sword to help. Did I do anything wrong? Of course you didn't do anything wrong. That's more like it. You're just too stupid. Muroning was exasperated at his failure to live up to her expectations. She reprimanded him. I just wanted to hit your arrogance a little, that's why I said those words to you. Whether you believe it or not, I don't have any malicious intent. I don't want to see you, after learning some skills, go stir up trouble and bring back a body of trouble. What I mean is, I don't want the child to be without a father. Murong Ying's words were already incoherent, but Li Fan felt that she was somewhat cute. That's bad, I've really caused a body of trouble. Li Fan chuckled. Young people don't know the taste of sorrow, but he didn't know the bitterness in it. Unexpectedly, he could laugh. What kind of trouble did you cause? Murong Ying had a bad feeling. Today, a person from the genie guards suddenly came to assassinate me. Li Fan said, although she was repelled by me, her strength is very strong, far higher than mine. I was just lucky. What did you say? Murong Ying seemed a bit surprised. That shouldn't be. How did you attract their attention? Where did you go tonight? What a man does, a woman shouldn't ask. Idiot, now is not the time for you to show off. Murong Ying softly reprimanded, if you don't want to die, hurry up and say it. Fine, I went to fight in the underground arena. Li Fan felt that there was nothing to hide, so he bluntly said, after winning for a night, I earned some money, so I'm going to do some small business. Stupid. Murong Ying was angry. My Murong's family is innumerable. When did I need you to go out and earn money? Your money is yours, what I earn is my own. Li Fan immediately drew a clear line, and then loudly said, not to mention, you want to marry me. Marry me, you're my wife. I'll raise you, understand? You. Hearing this, Murong Ying's body was slightly startled, but she didn't have much to say. The two of them stared at each other, and the atmosphere seemed to be in a stalemate. After a long time, Murong Ying finally sighed and spoke first. The Imperial Secret Service is an organization of the Imperial Court. Imperial Court. Stop messing around, what era is it now? Now there's only the government. Li Fan emphasized, wife, you need to change your way of thinking. As your husband, I'm duty-bound to do this. After we finish the ceremony, I'll slowly teach you. Shut up. Pervert. Murong Ying's beautiful big eyes stared. At this time, you're still so indecent. You're asking for a beating. Why are you like Tang Sang? Li Fan said dispiritedly, how about I turn into a white dragon horse, and you ride me to learn the scriptures? Who wants to ride you? Murong Ying rolled her eyes. In short, the Imperial Court is a department of the government, specially set up to deal with those martial artists. The Imperial Secret Service is their secret organization, and the meaning of their existence is to deal with those uncontrollable martial artists. These people are the dogs of the Imperial Court, and each of them is an expert. They won't make a move on ordinary people, but I'm afraid you're already on their blacklist. Fuck. Am I a wanted criminal? Don't worry, with me here, no one will dare to touch you. Murong Ying had already landed, and proudly stood there with her hands behind her back. Even if it's the commander of the Imperial Secret Service, under my, Murong Ying's hands, they can't even last 3 moves. Wife is mighty and domineering. But now you're already at the next level. Ah. Murong Ying blinked her eyes, and then somewhat resentfully looked at Li Fan. Why did you kiss me that day? Chapter 61. I'm wronged. I'm so wronged. Li Fan almost cried. You were the one who forcefully kissed me that day, okay? My first kiss is gone just like that. Don't worry, I'll take responsibility. Muronging patted Li Fan's shoulder in a domineering manner. As long as you abide by the womanly rules, I won't divorce you. Fuck, our identities are reversed, okay? It's both my first kisses, I don't care, why do you care? Muronging rolled her eyes at Li Fan. As a man, why do you like to talk nonsense? After being taught a lesson by a woman, why did Li Fan feel so unhappy? In short, you're still a legal citizen of the government, so the government won't do anything to you. As for the genie guards, I guess they won't let you go. Fuck, bloody mother, Li Fan reached out and caught a golden bullet that Muronging shot at him. Your hidden weapon skills are far inferior to that one-eyed woman's. Oh. Muronging slightly raised her eyebrows. She's one-eyed. Yes, like Tai Zhu, but not as ferocious as Tai Zhu. Holding a tang knife, good at flying needles. Hey, how do you know? Li Fan was a little surprised. Could it be that his wife could predict the future? It's not hard to guess. Muronging smiled faintly. In this martial world, how many people don't know her name? Remember, the one who killed you today is one of the 4 black guards of the genie guards, Heartless Saber. Her name is Yushi. This nickname, is so cool. Li Fan whistled. Don't be silly, she's very strong. Muronging reminded Li Fan, she's an expert at the peak of perfection, but she was defeated by you. It seems that she did suffer some serious internal injuries. But in today's fight, she should have tested your strength. Next time, she won't come looking for you. Is she afraid after being beaten by me? Li Fan immediately puffed up his chest. No, she disdains to fight with you. Muronging said, the brocade guard will send ordinary Baihu and Qinhu to deal with you. Fuck. Kill them. Li Fan was unbearably angry. In the end, she was looking down on him. Anyway, be more careful in the future. Muronging thought for a moment. About the genie guards. I guess I can only ask Tian Tian to look into it. She seemed to be very reluctant and seemed a little uneasy at the mention of this name. Who was this Tian Tian? How could she make Muronging have such a reaction? Alright, go to sleep. Muronging flicked her sleeves. It's getting late. I'm going back to sleep. Don't come back so late next time. Everyone is waiting for you. Everyone? Who is everyone? Li Fan asked. Of course it's Tai Zhu. Without turning her head, Muronging walked back to her room. Wife, don't go. Let's sleep together tonight. Okay, son-in-law. Tai Zhu's big body suddenly blocked in front of Li Fan and smiled sweetly at Li Fan. Son-in-law, go ahead. My body is very sturdy. Fuck. Fuck your sister. If you want to enter my room in the future, you have to go through Tai Zhu first. Standing behind Tai Zhu, Muronging lightly said, if you can't beat Tai Zhu, you can't enter my room. Just now, it was me. Li Fan rolled up his sleeves. Today, I'm going to barge into my wife's house. With that, Li Fan rushed toward Muronging's room. Son-in-law, you have to go through Tai Zhu first. Tai Zhu suddenly stretched out an arm as thick as a calf and blocked Li Fan's path. Wild bear hugging the tree. Li Fan suddenly stretched out his hands and hugged Tai Zhu's waist. Ah! Son-in-law. I'm not mentally prepared yet. Tai Zhu's big round face immediately blushed. Li Fan couldn't help but roll his eyes. Prepare your sister. Fall for me. Li Fan's waist became one with his horse. With both feet stepping on the ground, he exerted strength from his waist and forcefully grabbed Tai Zhu's huge body and threw him backward. Tai Zhu's waist and horse kung fu was also very powerful. However, he was unable to stand firm and was thrown upside down by Li Fan. Boom! The entire floor of the bungalow trembled. Standing there, Muronging saw this scene. Her crescent moon-like eyebrows couldn't help but lightly rise. Li Fan clapped his hands and looked at Muronging. Thinking of the lines he heard tonight, he laughed, "I'll chase you. If I can catch you, I'll do it with you, he he he." Muronging didn't say anything and just pointed. Li Fan subconsciously turned his head. Taizhu sat up straight and hugged his arms. His face was full of excitement and his mouth was still shouting. "Ah! Son-in-law hugged me. Son-in-law, this is so exciting. Son-in-law, I want more. Fuck, are you a monster?" Li Fan almost collapsed. Son-in-law, I forgot to tell you. Apart from the butcher knife technique, I also practiced the iron shirt for a few years at the request of eldest Mississippi." Taizhu scratched his bald head. "In the end, I went berserk, and now I can't grow my hair anymore. Fuck, he's still trained into a monster." However, son-in-law's martial arts improved very quickly. Was the move just now also from the 5 animal frolics? I've never seen it before. Taizhu felt that the 5 animal frolics used by her son-in-law was very strange. It was different from what she knew. Muronging also pricked up her ears. She also had the same question, but was too embarrassed to ask. This is a martial art derived from the 5 animal frolics. I created it myself. Li Fan pointed at himself. It's called the 5 animal frolics technique. The move just now was the wild bear embracing tree from the bear strike technique. Son-in-law is so powerful. Let's do it again. I want it. Hug. Hug. Hug your head. Li Fan was furious. He lifted his leg and kicked at Taizhu. Unexpectedly, Taizhu used his own body to block Li Fan's kick. Li Fan felt as if he had kicked an iron tower. His calf trembled. Taizhu stretched out his hands and grabbed Li Fan's calf. He exerted force and actually threw Li Fan like a discus. Li Fan's body tumbled in the air and fell to the ground. Enough. That's enough. Muronging suddenly said, "It's already late. Don't make a fuss. Don't disturb the neighbors. Husband, you should go back to sleep today. Come back tomorrow to challenge me." "Fine. I'll come back tomorrow." Li Fan angrily turned around and walked away. When he returned to the room, Taizhu suddenly stopped smiling and spat out a mouthful of blood. Muronging quickly stepped forward and pressed a few acupuncture points on her body to help her circulate her blood. Eldest Miss. Son-in-law's martial art is getting more and more powerful. Taizhu smiled in embarrassment. "I'm afraid I can't control him." "No matter." Muronging supported Taizhu. "First come to my room to heal. I'll teach you a few more moves. Tomorrow, you can break his 5 animal frolics technique." You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.